All right, everyone, and welcome inside Chateau Lanes for the 2025 Manitoba Open final round coverage here on NDBowlTV. I'm Darren Cini. Let's bring it on into the booth. Joined today by Jonathan Domingo. John, say hi.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here.
Do appreciate you joining me. We will have probably another guest here joining us shortly. We are currently in the 8th frame of position round. Do appreciate everyone tuning in early on, and like always, please let us know how everything looks, how everything sounds. That'll be greatly appreciated. Currently, let's head on back out to the lanes. As you can see here, our championship pair will be 17 and 18, not in use at the moment. You can see Zack Wilkins there throwing his 8th frame here in position round. Again, we had 32 bowlers advanced to the match play portion today. They bowled 8 games of match play. They were separated into 4 groups of 8. This is the 8th game. Following this game, we are going to go into a 8-person stepladder final. Now, we don't know anything at the moment, but it'll look like this. Our first game will be the 6, 7, and 8 seeds all bowling one game. The high score will advance. The next game will be the 4 and the 5 plus the winner of that first match, and the high score will advance once again. And then once we determine that matchup against the 3, it'll be a one-game match, stepladder format as always. And then the top seed must be defeated twice. That is one advantage here to being the top seed in Manitoba. And based on the scores and what is happening in front of us, I do believe that top seed is projected to be Thomas Wolfe. Again, that is not official, but he had a pretty sizable lead, and he's got 250 left going into the 10th. So how this will all work today is once they finish the position round, we are going to move a camera out onto the lanes, and then they will oil the 17 and 18 right here in front of us, so that it is a fresh oil pair. And then we'll be underway with our stepladder finals. Again, if you're joining us, please let us know how everything looks, how everything sounds in the chat room. That would be greatly appreciated. John, what have you seen so far?
Right now, just seeing a lot of jockeying for position for the last couple spots. Thomas does have the number 1 seed locked up. There's still a little bit of movement between spots 2 through 11, I'd like to say. Everything's pretty tight right now with some people struggling and some people gaining a little bit of ground. It looks like Doug is going to be pretty solid between the 2 and 3 spot. Zach is looking solid for at least 2 or 3 himself. I know Joel Galley, sorry, is putting up a game here and might move up a couple spots himself. Same with Israel. And Dustin Harold, again, looking pretty solid. Those guys are a bit behind, though. And their scores between Mitch to Israel is pretty tight right now.
All right, let's just go over quickly what the scores were heading into the stepladder finals. Actually, the position round, excuse me. The number 1 seed in position round was Thomas Wolfe. Number 2, Doug Wagner. Number 3, Zack Wilkins. Number 4, Mitch Houpe. Number 5, two-time defending champion Austin Descharme. Number 6, Dustin Harold. 7, Joel Galley. And number 8, Israel Potter. The first 2 out going into position round are TJ Howard and Alex. How do you say that last name?
Terrakita. From Alberta.
Are the first 2 out. So we will see once these update. We will update our bracket, and then following a quick oiling of our championship pair, we will be underway momentarily. Mike Hammond, thank you for tuning in. Do appreciate you letting us know everything looks and sounds good. Tuning in from Oregon, I do appreciate that. And for those of you who have smashed that thumbs up button early on in our show, I do appreciate that as well. That helps us greatly here at NDBowlTV. As you see there, a nice solid 8-pin for Thomas, but I don't think it's going to matter. He's going to win his match against Douglas Wagner, and that should lock up the number 1 overall seed for Thomas, which means he must be defeated twice, depending on who will make it through the 8-person stepladder. What do you think about that, an 8-person stepladder? It's the second year they've done it here.
It's the second year they've done it. The first couple matches are so hectic because the action is very fast. 3 guys bowling at the same time, and then the pace kind of calms down once you get into that top 4 position, like normal. This year, we moved back to 17 and 18, which is notoriously a tougher pair in the house, which is nice. The main thing that I noticed, though, is that last year in the stepladder, a lot of the guys started a little bit more in, and what allowed Austin to do so well is he stayed out.
Right.
And really created something with some surface and used the the fresh oil to his advantage. But a lot of people are playing out to the right and opening up the lanes this year, whereas in previous years we've seen them play in the middle and just seen that ball float the whole way down.
Right.
And then as they try and get it to hook a little, that's where it just jumps face and you greet church. So.
And I will say this year we are bowling on the 2022 Super Senior Classic pattern. This pattern is a 40-foot pattern with a shade under 27 mils of oil. It's a 3-to-1 pattern, so it's very playable, and I think in this house it played more playable on the fresh, and then as the day went on, the carry down kind of gave some of the players fits, and that's where the scores kind of dropped throughout the qualifying blocks. Leading the way in our qualifying block was Mitch Hupe with a 1471 total. So due to his high qualifying total, he got a $150 bonus. Second was Doug Wagner, who did shoot a 300 yesterday and claimed the $1,200 300 game pot. And then our cut to the top 32 was Dave Pashina at 28 under. So wide range of scores. You had righties, lefties. A nice mix of players, really.
Yeah, we got quite a few people from out of town, and lefties, two-handers, a lot of two-handers using both sides of the lane. I believe there's 3 women that made the cut, sorry. And I believe you were bang on with your prediction. You called it at even to -30.
Yeah, I
so
did.
Definitely right in there.
Chalk that one up to
Yeah.
NDBowling.com.
A little bit harder for your predictions because you got to get 8 out of 8 to get 100%, but I think you're sitting 5 out of 8.
We're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
We are. And I will say there were two of those that were maybe a little more obvious than I think. But picking Zach and Mitch were pretty easy. But the other ones, I picked Dustin Harold. He's a pretty solid lefty from down in Minnesota, doing well at the moment.
I've seen Dustin the last few years in Fargo, and he's, I think, improved on every day, too, that I've seen him bowl. And when I made a point to watch him on Friday, and he kind of got out of the gate a little slow, but then followed it up with 270, 250, and just put it in cruise control. I wanted to watch him because he wasn't doing the urethane thing.
Right.
And he was shaping I'd like to say an asymmetrical ball and making it look really good.
All right, we are going to try to fill out our bracket as we go. It looks like the pair immediately to the right has finished. Thomas Wolf had 238 and a win, so he will likely lock up that number 1 seed, which is such a huge advantage here in Manitoba, as he must be defeated twice in the final in order for anybody else to win.
So just to note, spots 11 and 12 are Earl from Canada.
Okay.
I won't even try it myself.
Sobakibij.
Jamie
That's how I
Craig.
understand it.
Jamie Craig, and they were about 40 pins off the cut, but Jamie has 280 potential and Earl has 268 potential.
Okay, so something to look forward to here.
Yeah.
Potential players jumping into the stepladder finals as Earl and Jamie Craig. Both. Jamie's going into the 10th with 280 possible, and Earl's got what'd you say, 250 left, 260?
267, I think. Yep, 267. And off to our left, it looks like Dustin's going to hold his spot because he's got a 5-bagger going into the 10th.
Austin Ducharme has a 4-bagger going into the 10th, so a lot of moving going on here.
He'll take a loss because he got out the gate a little rough there, but solidified his spot with that 4-bagger, which is always nice.
And North Dakota State Scratch Singles Champion, we saw him on NDBowlTV back in November, Joel Galley, making a run as well. He still has 230 left going into the 10th. So again, we will update you as we know our stepladder finals, but I am pretty sure Thomas Wolf has claimed that #1 overall seed.
Did Joel is the #1 seed for that as well, right?
Yeah, at the State Scratch Singles, yes.
That tournament, I believe, got quite squirrely for your stepladder.
Yes.
It was a challenge, so.
Yeah, the stepladder finals were ugly. There were some low scores.
For him to grind that out is just awesome. Great performance. And Earl strikes in the 10th.
Okay, so going in, Earl was at 15.09, and Israel Potter at 8th was at 15.47. So he had to make up 30 pins, and he's got 250 going here.
Yeah. And
Israel has 230 left.
234. Joel's got 233, and the 10 pins is really going to matter.
Right. So their
Yeah.
lane is currently off. You can see to the left of the screen here. Not the immediate pair to the left of our championship pair, but the one over is 13 and 14 where they're bowling. They must have a brief machine call to ice the players momentarily. Jamie did strike the first in the 10th.
Yeah, I think the math is adding up here.
Jamie Craig for the 11th one does trip it out, so now he's going to be 270 plus, north of 270, and he's going to defeat Earl.
So he's going to take 10, and those guys maxing out at one of them 244 or 243, I believe. That might be enough.
So Jamie is likely going to jump into the show. Just a matter of will Earl join him and who is going to fall out.
Yeah. And Joel is strike up in the 9th. Earl, like we said, there is that machine call, so Israel has not pulled yet.
There's going to be a lot of movement on this one. One of my favorite parts of every big tournament is position round.
Yeah.
Because stuff like this happens all the time, and guys jump 4 or 5 spots into the show, and then once you get in there, anything can happen.
There's also one of the best feelings in competitive bowling is bowling that big game to get in and just give yourself a chance to win the title. Israel stones an 8-pin.
Stones and 8-pins. So now Joel Galley will have a chance to step up in the 10th and defeat Israel Potter. And like you said, those bonus pins are huge right now.
Yeah, because Israel's using both sides of the lane, I don't know which way the ball went through the pins, but
yeah, and that's one thing to note. Yesterday, Israel Potter, I think it was Friday actually.
Friday.
He started, somebody said he started minus his first 2 games. And then as a two-hander, he started throwing back up on the left side of the lane and ended up qualifying number 4 overall with a 1350 or 1369 total. So actually he did start out with 230. He went 230, 180, and then somebody said he switched to the left side.
Yeah.
And then he finished 256, 275 to end up qualifying 4th. So
Yep.
very impressive. It looks like Jamie Craig again did defeat Earl in a barn burner of a match there. Earl shot, what did Earl finish with? Did he get the?
I did not see. I can mute and see if somebody knows.
He had 230, 240 possible. It's just a matter of did he finish that one out?
Didn't get Earl's score on there.
Looking over here, Dustin Harold's in the 250s, so he's going to be safe. He will defeat Austin Descharme. Descharme may have enough pins to stay in the show. Maybe in one of the 3-for-1 matches early on.
Yeah, it seems like Dustin's going to jump all the way into the 4th spot because Mitch dropped a few pins there. But yeah, this is one of the best parts, I think, just before the show started. We were talking about how the number 1 seed going into the position round in Minot dropped all the way out. And that's just shows how tight some of these tournaments can get sometimes.
While we have a brief moment, I do want to thank the sponsors of the tournament. So you can see them all there. Melody and the staff here have raised quite a bit of sponsorship money, totaling close to $25,000 in total prize fund this week. So big shout out to them and big shout out to the sponsors this week. And shout out to our sponsors, Storm, the official bowling ball sponsor of the High Plains Bowling Network. And to our jersey partner, Zelogear. You can head on over to zelogear.com and save 10% using promo code NDBowlTV10. Again, you're watching NDBowlTV final round coverage of the 2025 Manitoba Open here at Chateau Lanes in Winnipeg. I'm Darren Sini alongside Jonathan Domingo calling the action here today as they are finishing up position round, and then we'll be underway with our Stepladder finals. There you see Israel Potter backup ball for a strike.
Doubles in the 10th for potentially 223, so Joel needs the first 2.
As you can see, the second set of pins there with the lights on. The next shot you see is a Joel Galley shot. A big shot for him, throwing the 900 Global Origin. Needs a strike here to stay alive in his match against Israel Potter. And that one's left and leaves a 10 pin. So he's got 220 left, so he's going to lose that match to Israel Potter.
Yep.
As he's only got 213 left. Israel Potter's in the 220s. So a big win there for Israel.
Yep, that should lock up his spot for sure. How close were Austin and Joel, actually? They are 17 apart, so Austin finishes with 97 and Joel can get to 13.
And Joel missed it.
Oh.
So that puts Joel in the 190. Well, 201 is what he's got.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see when everything updates where our final standings are. And then we will update our bracket and then be underway. If you haven't already, please share our stream on social media. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, as we will be live in 2 weeks from Minot at the Morris Anderson Memorial Shootout. Always looking forward to that one.
Yeah, one of the best weekends of the year for sure. I think Rory's probably put in his Mountain Dew order. I've never seen somebody stock so much Mountain Dew on a Sunday morning, but he's just giving the people what they want.
That's right. I always warn the people in the bar to stock up on your Caesars and stuff like that, because when the Canadian folk come down, they sure like their Caesars.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm waiting for my scores to update, and then we'll fill out our bracket, move a camera, and then we'll be underway. And if you have any questions, please head on into the chat room. Let us know. Big thank you to everyone who has tuned into the chat room so far. I do appreciate the feedback, as everything looks good and sounds good, which is always a good thing to start off a show.
Yeah, shout out to Melody Savage and her staff here at Chateau Lanes. I know a few years ago they started to make some changes to the tournament to really increase the entries and increase the interest that's going around.
Okay, so I do have the finals, and I'm going to fill out the bracket here, and then we will go one by one. So hold on one second. We did have a movement there on the 2 seed. All right, give me a second, and we'll have these all in here momentarily.
Am I okay to say them out loud?
No.
Okay.
We will announce those, John.
Sounds good. But yeah, I'll just continue on while Darren's typing. Just big shout out to Melody Savage and her staff. They definitely made some changes to bring back interest into this tournament, and they've had an increase in entries ever since. And they're always looking for feedback on what they can do to make the tournament more appealing to you guys out there, anybody who's interested in this tournament. So thanks again for all that they do. Bring in $25K of added prize money is always a nice bonus for the bowlers.
Yeah, and it's only grown in popularity the last few years since they changed the format to the 3-shift format, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, gives everybody a chance to get warmed up, get used to the lanes, and have a second crack at it and use the info that they got from the first time out.
All right, let's see here. Let's hide all these. And here we go. Let's reveal our bracket. And again, these are unofficial, but I'm pretty sure the scores that we see are fairly accurate as far as bonus pins and everything. Your number 1 seed, as mentioned earlier, Thomas Wolf. He will be bowling for the title, and as the leader here in Manitoba, he must be defeated twice, so a big advantage there. Coming in at number 2, Zack Wilkins. And you know him as a PBA pro that really kind of exploded onto the tour last year, made a show, and top 43 in points. He's exempt this year. So he will be on number 2 seed. Coming in for the number 3, Douglas Wagner Jr. He shot the 300 game yesterday. He qualifies 3rd. In 4th, Dustin Harold. That'll be our first lefty out of Minnesota. In 5th, the other PBA pro here, Mitch Hupe, local favorite. Another guy who's exempt on tour and will be making his way likely to Delaware here in a couple weeks. And coming in as the number 6, 2-time defending champion, Austin Descharme. Will he be able to climb the ladder and win his 3rd consecutive, something that has never been done here at the Open? He will have that shot today. Number 7, jumping into the show, Jamie Craig, on the heels of a 270-plus game. I don't know if did he get the last one? No, he had 279 the last game. And then our final seed, Israel Potter, who shot 223 to defeat Joel Galley, and he takes over that final spot over Joel by 8 pins. So he just had enough. If Joel would have picked up that 10 pin and got count, Joel would have been in the Stepladder finals. So that's how it'll look. Our first match will feature Austin Descharme, Jamie Craig, and Israel Potter, where the high game will move on and join Dustin Harold, Mitch Hupe for another 1-game high total moves on. And then Douglas Wagner, Zack Wilkins, and Thomas Wolf is your number 1 overall seed. So everyone, please, in the chat room, let us know, who do you think is going to come out of this first match? 2-time defending winner Austin Descharme, Jamie Craig, or Israel Potter? There's a lot of rev rate on that first match. John, what do you think?
Yeah, these guys they're just oiling up the pairs now. I want to actually take a look at how these guys did on the fresh to see how they did. Austin started out the gate with a 208. Jamie. Sorry, I'm looking at qualification standings.
Okay, do you want this one?
Yeah, I got it.
You have 'em? Okay.
Yeah. So Austin started out with 204, Jamie 210, Israel 216. So pretty even across the board, but as these guys have gotten loosened up today, they've gotten, like, I know Austin started out a little bit behind where he wants to be. Same with Jamie. Israel has been pretty steady all day. So as these guys are warming up, they're just getting better. I can see Jamie already adjusting surface, so he's going to go away from what he's doing in Game 8 or Game 8 in qualifying. He's definitely not going to be doing now.
Yeah, like as you said, as a fresh oil pair, this is going to change things a little bit. I've always been one that when I'm bowling really good and going with the breakdown, then going to a fresh oil pair, I always have a hard time. Like probably pulling back on your speed a little bit, moving back to the right, going back to what was working early on in the day.
Right. I mean, as tournaments go on, I know I start rotating the ball a bit more and to go back to the right usually for myself and start rolling it a bit more. Once I get into motion, I'm usually just hoping to stay there.
Okay, I'm going to step away from the booth real quick. I'm going to move the camera that we have that points back towards the players. So if you'll give me one moment, I will be right back.
So just some info on how close it got towards the end there. Earl, who had a big game but was up against Jamie, finished with 256 and 1765 total. So even if he got to the full 267 that he had potentially, he would have been about 4 pins short of the cut over under Israel. So tight finishes for sure today. And Taylor Wallstrom jumped all the way up to 11th with a 236 in the last game as well. So things were very tight going into that last game. I can tell you this too. I can see not just Jamie, Austin's changing surface, grabbing a different ball. Can't see where Israel went to. But I believe he's been using a motive tank the whole day. All our top 8 qualifiers too are finishing, filling out a few biographies just to give us a little bit of background info on them. I know I can for sure comment on the locals that we have, but some of the other guys like Dustin, Thomas, I know Darren might be able to help us out a bit more with those as well.
Well, as you can see there on this camera, we're a little unfortunate to have the sun coming through the front door there, but we will do the best we can to bring the best picture we have. Okay, we're just finishing up oiling the lanes here on our championship pair, and then we will be underway with our first match. Let's take a look at that bracket once again. Leading the way is Austin Descharme, Jamie Craig, and Israel Potter. The top score out of that game will advance. Dustin Harold, Mitch Hoope in the second match will get the high score here from the first match. High score will then take on Doug Wagner. And it's standard head-to-head matches. And again, Thomas Wolfe must be defeated twice as the top overall seed. So again, if you're joining us in the chat room, let us know who you think is going to win the Manitoba Open title. The top two seeds neither have won an NDBowling.com major title. So an opportunity here. And if I were to go out there and take the statistics for the most appearances on NDBowlTV without a major title for NDBowling.com, the top two here would be likely the leaders.
Right.
So some history could be made today. And then if you look back there on the number 5 seed and the number 6 seed, they account for the last 3 Manitoba Open titles here at Chateau Lanes. Hoope winning it in 2022 over this guy right next to me,
Yep.
Jonathan Domingo.
Setting records out there.
And then Austin Descharme, of course, won the last 2 years.
How much effort did Jamie Craw put into that bio?
He put no effort into it, actually. And thankfully, I know enough about Jamie where I don't even have to look at it.
Mention that while you're adjusting cameras. I know the kids give you a hard time with the bios in your
It's awful.
the Midwest youth.
There was one year I got trolled pretty hard, and I think it's Braden Malish. He gives me his sheet saying he's a 160 average bowler. Then he bowls in front of us, and Ken and I were very perplexed. And Ken's like, well, maybe he's, just like most two-handers, he's getting really good really fast. And then it turns out 2 months later he gets a spot on Team USA and Team Trials, and he's much better than led to believe in the bios. So
yeah, junior Team USA. I think he went overseas with the team as well,
correct.
with Zach Andreessen.
So thankfully, in this case, I know enough about all 8 people here to know better, which helps.
I'll cover the Canadians.
There you go. And again, I'm Darren Cini alongside Jonathan Domingo, calling the action here in Manitoba. They're just about finished oiling our championship pair.
I took a break from the booth, and I asked one gentleman who made the cut off of Friday, I said, did you get as far left today as you did on Friday? And he said, absolutely not. Everyone broke them down so much different. And then he just never got there. And with the way the urethane played today, Doug Wagner pretty much set the trend for that. Bit of a unique style and roll, so he's a bit different. But Doug bowling 300 yesterday in squad 3 made it look really good. So people really adjusted what they were doing out there today. Then I just talked to one other guy. When he said he gets left to 15, the ball reaction gets pretty rough on this pattern. So something to watch for. I mean, he was happy to get back on fresh for the Stepladder. And these guys are all making adjustments already and going back to their original equipment they started the day with.
All right, shout out to everyone who's hit that thumbs up button so far. I do appreciate that. The more of you that hit the thumbs up button, the more likely we are to get noticed in the YouTube algorithm. So I do appreciate that.
Mel's bringing out the biggest Pepsi bottle I've ever seen in my life.
She's letting it known for all the sponsors that Pepsi is a sponsor here.
Love it.
Let's cut it over there. As you can see, there is Melody Savage, the tournament director here in Manitoba. Big shout out to her and the entire staff here at Chateau Lanes for what they've done for all the bowlers this weekend and all the money that they have raised.
Yep, family operation. The whole family's involved with the weekend. Takes months and months, even pretty much after they finish today, they start thinking about the next version and how that's going to go.
And I would imagine this tournament will be held again, likely the second weekend in January next year.
Yep.
So please stay tuned for that. I would strongly suggest any bowlers out there that want to get involved in the Manitoba Open to find the Manitoba Open Facebook group and join that, as Melody and everyone there posts as much as they can on that group. That is where 90% of the information I get comes from, including live scoring updates throughout the tournament. And if you want to know of any other tournaments, head to ndbowling.com, click on the upcoming events page, and find a tournament for you. Like I said, our next show will be live from North Hill Bowl in Minot. Final round coverage of the Morris Anderson Memorial Shootout, January 26th, right here on NDBowlTV.
Yeah, this is the first week of the start of the run of tournaments we were talking about. Manitoba Open, Minot, the Morris Anderson. Then you have Bismarck the day
KFYR.
after, yeah. And then I know Aberdeen hosts a tournament, and then the ND Bowling Classic.
Yep, that'll be the first weekend in March.
Yep.
There's a new format there. I don't think I have the poster online yet. I do apologize for that, but I will have that posted on Monday. But check that out. Head on over to ndbowling.com on Facebook. I do know I've shared the poster that there is a new Sunday format for the ndbowling.com Classic. It'll be 2 shifts this year, one at 9 a.m., one at 3 for qualifying. Pins will carry over to Sunday, and then a 4-game cashers round in the morning. And the top overall seed after 12 games will automatically advance to the Stepladder Finals as the 1 seed. The next 24 players would go into a bracket with the top 8 getting buys. Do the process. I believe it's 2-game total pin matches.
Yeah.
And then when you have 4 left, those will be the remaining seeds in the Stepladder Finals, which you will see right here on NDBowlTV.
Yeah, that tournament has gone up in entries, and even last year oversold,
Yep.
I believe. So they hit their 96 and then some, and hence the adjustment to the tournament. So that's great to see. Bowling's back. It never left.
That's right.
It's on the rise again. And this being the start, like I said, a very busy tournament schedule. Everybody has to pick and choose. I know not everybody can make it to all, but we appreciate all that come up here and that go down to the other tournaments as well. I know there's quite a few people that are just coming off Canadian team trials. I know Israel Potter, Mitch Hoope, Zack Wilkins are all coming off that. They all flew in Friday.
On the women's side, Felicia Wong made the women's team. I believe she lost in the final out in Montreal.
Yeah, she lost in the final. She led from game 1 all the way to the step ladders, and a girl out there went in hot. I think she threw 780 for 3 games in the step ladder, so that was
Wow.
huge. And Mitch and Zach both made the top 3 step ladder there as well, with Mitch losing to Graham Faw
Yep. Another
in 2 games.
very good bowler.
Yeah.
Canada, as many of you probably know, on tour.
Yeah, these guys, they use this as a good warm-up for them heading out on tour. They're leaving in about a week, like Darren said, to Delaware. So this is a good tune-up for them. Zach doing really well again. He finished 3rd through the Canadian team trials himself. He qualifies number 2 today with only 1 shoe. As he had some issues today, he unfortunately broke a shoe earlier yesterday and broke it again today after trying to bring it back. So sometimes you just got to grind through it.
Question in the chat room, how much money for the entries? So it starts off with a $170, we're talking Canadian funds here, entry fee. And if you wanted to re-enter this weekend, it was $130, correct?
$140, I believe.
$140?
Yeah.
$130? And from what I see here, there were 77 full entries with 40 re-entries, so 117 total. Very nice.
Oh, yep. Darren's correct, 130. We fact-checked it.
130. So Jonathan Domingo live fact-checking here on NDBowlTV. Looks like Friday there were 38 bowlers on that shift, including myself, which clearly I didn't bowl that great, which is why I'm here. On Saturday morning, there were 41 bowlers, 6 re-entries, 35 full entries. On Saturday, there were 34 re-entries, and 4 bowlers who hadn't bowled yet entered. So a total of 117 total, and like we said earlier, with the prize fund that comes from entries added with the additional sponsorship monies, which I think totaled close to 11,000, or was it 14? I know total prize fund was close to $25,000 this weekend.
Yeah.
There it is. So we had prize money was 14,513, added money was 10,350. So add that in with the 300 game pot that they added to, and it's just a shade under 25,000 in total prize fund. So very impressive. Great tournament for a lot of bowlers, and I know we're just going to probably get more entries as the years progress here.
In the chat, looks like a couple Austin fans. We got one from Doug.
Very nice.
Alexis
Thank you all
Wagner.
for tuning in and keeping us entertained here in the chat room. Again, we'll be underway shortly. Our first match will feature Austin Descharme, Israel Potter, and Jamie Craig. 3 players. High pin total will move on. Again, let's take one last look at that bracket before we get started. This is how it looks. Again, if you haven't already, please let us know in the chat room who you think will take home the 2025 Manitoba Open title and the coveted NDBowling.com Major Championship. Looking at our 8 bowlers here, I know Doug Wagner has an NDBowling.com Major title, having won the NDBowling.com Classic a couple years ago. Mitch Hoope won here in Manitoba 3 years ago. And then Austin Descharme, 2-time winner here at the Open. The 2 on top do not have an NDBowling.com Major title, so history in the making.
Sorry for pointing across you there. Mike
Yeah,
Schmidt's going to join us in the booth.
Look at that, getting a
little bit of experience coming in.
Yeah, and a guy that bowled today, so it'll be nice to get his insight on what happened today. All right, let's welcome on in 6-time winner here at the Open, Mr. Mike Schmidt. Mike, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I can hear myself even louder.
Oh, nice. So let's turn you down here. How does that sound? Is that better? Or is that too loud?
I should talk first, right?
Yeah.
No, everything's all good. Yeah.
All right, so here he is, 6-time Open champion, Mike Schmidt. 2-time World Cup champion as well?
Yes.
Very nice. So out of us 3, you were the only one that bowled today. Take us through kind of how your weekend went.
Well, right now I'm in a lot of pain because I don't know. No, when you guys get to your 40s, you'll understand. I'm not so much in as good a bowling shape as I once was. So it's been 2 years since I've made the Open cut because I missed the cut last year. So scoring was a bit of a struggle out there for a lot of people. Unless you were the top 10 or 12, those guys kind of ran away with it. But very challenging, and unfortunately, I missed a lot of spares today.
Yeah.
So,
So walk us through kind of the progression of this pattern. We bowled on the 2022 Super Senior Classic pattern.
Mm-hmm.
It started out, to me, a little easier on the fresh than we've seen in past years here at the Open. But as it broke down, it kind of turned into something that was kind of hard to figure out, and that's when the scores kind of dropped in the qualifying round. Did you see some of the same things?
Exactly the same thing for sure. Because I bowled the Friday night shift, so I didn't really know what to expect. And I was like, wow, okay, the first couple games, it was very playable. And I was thinking, okay, if we make it to Sunday, the scoring pace is going to be really high, especially the first half. And that's kind of what we saw today. But I totally agree. Today was a little bit more challenging because all of a sudden I would start on a pair with, I didn't get the Purple Hammer memo.
Right.
So, I had a great look for the first 5 frames, and the Purple Hammer is one of the best balls ever, don't get me wrong. But I didn't have one, right? So my transition happened really quickly. I found a lot of over-under, and then exactly that, when you had to move a little left or try to slow it down and kind of slow hook it around that urethane mess, you had to hit a dime. And
Sure.
I couldn't do that today. So I'm fortunate to come in 25th place and get my my money of $420, which is a nice number for sure.
Well, as you can see out in front of us now, Melody getting her picture before the Stepladder finals start. They are trying to line up 1 through 8. As you can see, far left, Thomas Wolfe is our 1 seed, followed by Zack Wilkins, Doug Wagner Jr., Dustin Harold, Mitch Hupé, Austin Ducharme, Jamie Craig, and Israel Potter. Those are your top 8 on your screen.
This is one of the annual traditions, the annual family photo style that these guys do with the half turn.
Do it before everyone calls a match, and they may or may not be upset, and because she used to do this picture after.
Yeah.
And there were some people that never wanted to take it, so they would go out there and they want to leave, they want to get paid. Yep. So I think it's a good idea to do the picture now while everyone's somewhat in a good mood.
Yeah, but I think that before it was like the final positioning picture.
Sure, yep.
So like this is the before, maybe she'll do an after picture.
Yeah. Who knows? I think it's funny that Mitch didn't know what spot he was in and he dropped down a couple there for the picture. I'm going to throw a lot of digs at Mitch today.
I was talking to him earlier. I was like, how you doing? He's like, oh, I'm not doing that great. No, I'm shooting 210, 220, 2-0. I'm like, I just want to shake my head at him. But like for him, like for a caliber player like him, that's not very high scoring, but he's way up there, right? He was in making the show no matter what. So, and that's really, if you gave any of us an opportunity to bowl in the show right now, I'm pretty sure we would take it. So, but in a way, I think we're in a better position for the show because we're here on NDBowl.
That's right. So there it is. One last look at our Stepladder finals on your screen. Austin Ducharme, Jamie Craig, Israel Potter. All bowlers will bowl 1 game here with the high pin total advancing. And that winner will take on Dustin Harold, Mitch Hupé in the 2nd game. High pin total will advance to a head-to-head match against Doug Wagner, number 2 seed Zack Wilkins, and then once again, the big advantage here in Manitoba is the top overall seed must be defeated twice. Guy to my left knows all about that.
Oh, yeah.
He's been on both sides of it as the guy that ran the ladder to win his 6th title and had to defeat the leader twice. And then as the leader, in any of your wins as the leader, did you go to that 2nd game?
Oh, yeah, a few times for sure. I've lost a couple finals as the leader.
Okay.
I had lost to Jeff Smith, a legend.
Very good bowler, yes.
And I want to say it was either Darren Hansen or might have been Wade Scott. Whoever won it in like 18 or 19, because I finished number 1 and I lost both matches.
Wade, I think, won in 17.
Maybe it was that one then.
Perhaps. For those of you, go to ndbowling.com. There is a click on the history tab and let us know.
Yeah, I've got the history.
Do a little work
help
for
us out,
page
please.
out here.
So, Darren, have you ever done a show where there's been a top 8 stepladder before?
No, they started doing this last year here.
Yeah.
And, of course, Yes Uwe did it last year to the show?
Yes,
we, okay.
Yeah.
They did the show last year, and so I was not part of that. This is the first time here on NDBowlTV we've done an 8-person stepladder final, so
yeah, last year was the first time, and I was fortunately to be part of the show for that. Well, this side of the show for that.
Yes.
And it was initially kind of fast-paced, a little confusing. This person's here, this person's there, because there's that third individual. So I'm glad that with what setup you have here, we have the actual scoring that that people at home can actually see the scoring of what's going on, because that was a bit of a challenge, last year, trying to, almost like keeping track.
And you have to explain the score to the viewers.
Yeah.
Myself and Joe Franceschi, we were on a beach last year watching this on our phones, and we looked ridiculous, but trying to understand the scores was a bit of a challenge.
I love how you just rub that in a little bit.
Yeah, it's quite the punishment our significant others make us go through. They make us miss bowling tournaments for vacations.
We kind of half expected you to be doing the color commentary from Mexico. We were expecting the phone call. We were expecting
live feed there.
We tried to get in on the Saturday night action, but our e-transfers didn't work down there.
Shout out to Adam Peters in our chat room. He said Parvy beat you twice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
But
Sorry, I had it.
Parvy's
I wanted to. I
his
didn't want to
second
bring up
title.
the pain, but
No,
sorry, Adam got you.
I knew it was. I knew it was somebody. Well, obviously I knew it was somebody, but I couldn't remember exactly who it was. So thank you for that. I appreciate you guys digging that up.
We got it all over here.
Little PTSD for you there,
Yeah.
Mike.
No. I now remember that exactly because he was telling me how he sanded his IQ to 500, and that gave him the best look in the ladder. And then he showed me how good the look was.
Yep.
And so, hats off to him. He deserves it. So,
Yeah.
anybody who wins this tournament deserves to.
Very well
Deserves the
deserving,
title.
yes.
Yeah. That was in 2019, and Eric's probably still carrying that ball in his bag as well.
I thought it was
Would
19.
not surprise me. Before they get started, I'm going to go adjust this camera really quick.
Okay.
So
just to start commenting on the bowlers and what they're doing here in warm-up, Jamie going back outside to urethane. Again, fresh pair on the lanes, just dressed. Austin looks like he's using urethane out to the right. And Israel is sticking with what got him here.
So
and
what did
backing
get
up.
him here? Did he go back to backup? Because when I bowled him this afternoon, so this morning he started traditional right-hand hook.
Yeah.
Then about game 2 or 3, he went to the backup ball, had a good look. But then when I played him halfway through our match, he went back to the right side, I'll say,
Yeah.
and had an okay look. But I haven't seen him since. That was like game 5.
I kind of missed it, but when he left an 8-pin, I couldn't comment on whether it was from the left side or the right side.
Fair. So does this mean if he does choose, if Israel Potter, two-handed bowler,
Yeah.
throwing backup, does that mean he's the only lefty, quote unquote?
No, Dustin Harold's in there.
yeah, Dustin Harold is lefty.
This is why I ask
pure,
questions.
Pure lefty, not switching to the right side. Although I know Dustin's friend Henry, I saw him throwing backup today as well.
Really?
And
That's, to be able to do that, that is so impressive.
it is.
Like my wrist would still be in the ball as it goes down the lane. There's no way I can't maneuver it that way.
Well, if you've ever seen Henry throw a ball, which he did on Friday,
on Friday,
he's
I
got a
crossed it
phenomenal
on Friday.
wrist.
Very high rev rate, yes.
Give me a little bit of his wrist.
All right, so for those of you in our chat room, let us know if you can see the scores just fine. They look pretty clear on my screen, but I don't know how it looks for you at home.
I think it looks phenomenal, to be honest.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
And like Mike said, welcome back, ND Bowling. You've
I
been
appreciate
here.
that. It's good to be back here.
Yeah. I think you guys were talking earlier about how long ago you started this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, our first show is 2015
Yeah.
here up in Manitoba, and then we had the show up until 2020, and then they had the COVID year where the tournament was canceled, and that's when they did the big change with the format, and they started doing some other things for the TV show, and now we're back here in 2025, so it's good to be back.
It's also nice to see that when they did change the format a little bit, we did get more entries and more people coming out from a lot more different places
Yeah.
than before. Like I don't have the exact numbers of how many different people there were, but there was like 117 entries, I think, something like that.
Yeah, 77 unique bowlers. We had 36 locals, 16 Canadians, so that includes Thunder Bay area and
Calgary.
Alberta as well, and 22 Americans for.
So I'm guessing that was the first shot of the match.
That was our
We are
first
underway.
match,
Okay.
yes.
So Israel, I don't know who had choice of starting order, but Israel's leading off here.
I would guess that Austin did because he was the highest seed.
Yeah, and he's on the lane by himself. So
I don't know if do you think there would be much strategy in a 3-person, 3-for-1 kind of match like this as far as like choosing perhaps where you'd finish?
Personally, it would be what I would prefer to do. Do I want to finish on the right lane or the left lane? That's really all it would be
whoa,
for me, anyways.
yeah,
That's one way to start.
If I'm Austin, I would want to finish on 17 because 17 does hook more. 18
Sure.
has a hang spot for sure.
the only potential is Israel could make Jamie wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But not too much strategy in the 3-man.
Say, pins do bounce here at Chateau Lanes, so that did have a chance.
Did it actually bounce out?
I saw it for a second,
Yeah?
but it
Okay.
did not connect.
It's tough to do.
We should call Austin out because he didn't throw it hard enough.
Now, if I tried to throw it that hard, bad things would happen.
Oh, man.
He's got as much swing in his backswing as I do full swing, so.
All right, so that was an interesting look there. With
Yeah.
Urethane. Didn't quite make the hill.
Both righties now haven't gotten it up the hill, and Israel.
Israel flushed his first one. Is he using two different balls?
I do not know. Is he throwing back up? I think he is.
No, he actually went with traditional.
Okay. Yeah, he's going righty and got that one wide.
Yeah.
That kind of was the miss here this week. You know, you send it wide, wash out, and it looks like it didn't pick up the 6, so we're going to have that respotted.
Yep.
Jamie's going for his cover here, and he gets it. No
That
problem.
was a hard spare this week. Any
4-8, yeah.
any sleeper on the left side, because once you miss a hair left in the middle of the lane, they hook.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you got on where that traffic was from urethane and carry down, and you sent it just a little to the right, it never got up the hill, and you wouldn't get the pin behind it.
Yep.
Such a tough spare this week. Well, backup ball for that
Oh,
one,
nice
and
cover.
converted. Shout out to the folks in the back on the quick respot of that 6-pin.
Yeah. So Israel using both sides of the lane.
Fair. Now, did you guys touch on the fact that Austin here has a chance to become the first ever 3-time winner?
Yes, 3
Excellent.
consecutive
Three
times,
consecutive,
yes.
sorry, yes. So the fact that he's given himself an opportunity is amazing. And he just cured that.
These are looking quite tighter, too. It seems like they're really keeping the ball in front of them, not letting it get as far right as maybe they did this morning.
I would agree.
Because Austin, that looked a little into me, and it
I would agree.
just
yeah.
held.
Yep.
And
Right,
Jamie
I found
there.
that on the fresh that you actually had hold at like 10 board down lane.
And
If you had it firm enough and up the lane.
Right, and Jamie on that shot just there, he got to the spot where I think most people started, and that was a mixer. So,
That should be okay.
Just a hair wide.
Ooh.
Fortunate to get
Okay.
9. I left a lot of 2-8-10 combinations this week. So seeing your ball kind of set up at 30 feet and then just kind of cough down lane was a thing that I saw a lot on Friday night.
I appreciate you giving me the fist pump when I started my 2-4-8-10.
Yes. Yeah, we crossed a couple times in our shift on Friday.
Yeah. Which is a good time. You know, that Friday shift is a nice shift because it's a little bit more of a laid-back shift.
Yep.
Kind of thing. You know, the atmosphere of it. So,
Everyone getting back together for the open.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
all right. Austin here, see if he can double. Oh, just crushes it with that purple hammer.
And 2-time defending champion looking to become the first to win 3 consecutive here at the Open. And to think about it, in all of our 4 NDBowling.com major championships, it's only been done once. John Juba did it down at the KFYR way back in the 80s. That's the only one that's
Really?
ever happened, yes.
Wow. So,
Had a few back-to-back winners at the Classic down in Fargo.
Mhm.
And I don't think we've had a back-to-back winner in Minot, so
Minot would be the youngest of them all, right? Like in
yes.
terms of.
That started in 2004, yep.
Okay, so it's been 20 years. Okay. And Jamie being from Minot.
Correct?
Oh, so it
Nice
looked
hit
like that
there.
kind of moved a little right and it rolled up a little bit earlier, which is what you want. But it didn't stop.
Throwing a pitch black, I believe that is.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
He was sanding that up pretty good before the match. As one thing to note, that historically they've always been allowed to adjust surfaces between games here in Canada, but the last few years they updated that rule for the tournament to where it's a separate event, so to speak, a separate round.
Yes.
So the stepladder is considered a separate round, so they are able to adjust surfaces as they like to.
So, Johnny, did you notice anything different there with Israel shot?
yeah.
Did do the backup.
Went back to the backup.
Tried.
Tried it.
And it seems to be a common problem on 18 where it doesn't pick up the 6. So there is staff back there on it right away.
So they did redress this, so it's going to play a little bit tighter. It's warmer in the building right now. It's going to be a little bit different than what we saw first thing this morning. That's a pretty good 9.
Yep. Tugged it just a little bit. But one thing to note, the topography here, it is hard to get your ball through the front and still make the corner. It favors certain ball rolls.
That's where high tilt, low ball speed
Yeah.
kind of helps. Not today.
Not today.
Today seemed to be a lot more of the power game, the more front to back playing the lanes, because people were still playing right of third arrow in game 8 today.
Yeah. Like, it didn't go as far left with their feet as
Correct.
I thought they would.
Yeah.
And the right really looked good.
It held up
By staying
really
out
well.
there.
Yeah. All right, so Jamie here.
Working on a double. Nice shot. That peeled off the corner.
He made a heck of a run there last game, did he not, in the qualifying
Yeah,
round?
he shot 279 the last game to defeat Earl, who shot 250. It was a huge match, and then Earl came up just a bit short.
So, I heard a lot of excitement going on.
Yes.
Oh,
So
and Israel just flushes that rolling
Earl
back.
must have opened the 10th because he knew he was shut out of the show, but he could have had 250.
No, he could have had.
Oh, this was game 7.
267.
Yeah, what did he have the last game?
He could have had 267. I commented on it.
I think
he
Earl,
would have been
Earl
three
told me he
things
shot
short.
250 his last game.
Yeah, so he
and,
did finish
just,
it.
Just short.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then over here, Joel Galley had a 10 pin up there, and he missed it to get 201 and ends up missing the show behind Israel by 8 pins.
Oh, no.
So he actually had a shot to be the 8, and
That's how tight the scoring is when it's a tough pattern.
and one thing to note too is the bonus here is different than most tournaments that we see. They do what is it, 20-10 or is it a 10-5?
Here it's 10-5.
Here it's 10-5. I wish it was, 10 for a win, 50 for a loss, because then I would have gained a little bit more ground today. But
You'd be in the show, Mike.
I'd have a better chance, anyways. But up here it's a 10-5 thing. So basically, it really comes down to your scores. The 10 bonus is it's nice, but it probably won't make a huge difference in who makes the show.
I know these tournaments are becoming.
Wow. So lane 17's got that earlier friction.
Yep.
That's he probably didn't hate that off his hand, but that went.
Question in the chat room, why is there 3 bowling? We are doing an 8-person stepladder finals. There was 32 who qualified to today. Top 8 do the stepladder finals. So our first 2 matches are 3 people, top score advances. And then when we have 4 left, it'll be head-to-head like a traditional stepladder final.
Pretty close.
Maybe. Ooh, it touched it. The 7 was moving there. But an open in the 5th frame for Jamie Craig.
So that keeps the match really tight now.
Again, only the high score will advance out of this match.
Right, so one person advances. The
Yep.
winner, basically, advances.
And coming up in the next match is Mitch Houpe and Dustin Harold. Dustin is the lone lefty, if you don't consider Israel Potter being able to throw the backup ball on that side, but he is the lone lefty in our field.
Which Israel just wrapped a crazy 7-pin right there.
Dead flush on 17. Makes the move on 18 and wraps a 7.
So Austin can kind of take a little bit of mini control here if he can double up here. This is the better looking lane for him, I think. It's not bad. There we go. So super tight. One-shot match all the way through. It's what you love to see.
That's right. Again, appreciate everyone tuning in today. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm Darren Cini, joined by Jonathan Domingo and Michael Schmidt. Calling the action here. First match of the stepladder.
How many people do we have watching right now?
Currently 206.
Awesome.
It's a very good turnout. I do appreciate everyone tuning in.
I guess this is the first major of the year for
Yes.
for this area.
Yeah, we will be down in Minot at the Morris Anderson Memorial Shootout 2 weeks from today. So be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. And we will go live roughly, I would say around the same time 2 weeks from today at North Bowl in Minot.
That's another great tournament.
Very good,
Great
very well
facility.
ran. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Great prize fund.
Wow.
Have they picked a shot yet for the Morris Anderson?
I don't think so,
It's been 2 years in a row, right? With the same one?
which has been fair over the years, so I do.
Who took down the 300? It was Jeff Campbell.
Yep, the 300 game pot in Minot hadn't gone out for like 10 years, and they keep adding $300 every year, and it got up to like $3,600 last year, and Jeff Campbell took it out in, I think it was on like 13 and 14.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he ran away in qualifying and snapped off 300 for it. So this year that pot's only worth $300, unfortunately.
But still, come on out. It's a great tournament.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, late fall of the 10 pin there for a 3-bagger, giving Descharme the
That's pretty
advantage
big.
here.
That could be our. I want to say some type of turning point, but I can't really say that it's trademarked. But that could be the turning point in the match. $3,600 for shooting 300.
Yes.
It was all
That's like almost
basically winning
$6,000 Canadian.
first. Yeah.
That's impressive.
And there was one year where Andy Mills had front 11, and I think he wrapped 10 the last ball. Because I was like moving with him throughout the day, and it was the very last game of qualifying, and I think at the time it was like $2,400, whatever it comes out to be. And
Yeah,
and missed it. That was the closest I seen it.
big shot there.
Yeah, Jamie's got to start putting strikes together here to stay with Austin.
Speaking of 300 pot winner, we'll have
Yes.
that in our 3 versus.
It would be 4, whoever comes out of
Yeah.
the 6 players here.
Oh, another solid 7. Yeah, with Douglas Wagner shooting 300 yesterday in the qualifying round, pocketed himself 1,200 Canadian, which is awesome.
And a pin. And a,
Pin, he was
yes.
very
and
excited
a
for
little
the pin.
commemorative pin for shooting 300.
An actual bowling pin, not a
Yes.
lapel pin, but an actual bowling pin, yeah. Chateau likes to do that around here, especially if it's your first one here.
Sure.
They want to make sure that you remember that you shot one here at Chateau Lanes.
And then over in the lounge there, they have a board that shows all like
Yes.
the career 300s, which you are the leader up there with, what is it, 13 in the building? Or what is
13
it?
in the building, yes. Big
Another good
shot there
shot.
for Austin.
4-bagger, looking like how he did last year. He started off, I think, in the second
Yes.
3-for-1 match.
Yep.
Ended up winning that, and then took down 3 consecutive lefties, including Corey Williams, I think it was, in the final, where he won.
Williams twice in the final.
Had to beat him twice, yeah.
Earl Sebekevich in the semifinal, I believe. And
John Snyder, I think, was
John
the other
Snyder.
one. Yes.
You are correct.
I was going through all the lefties when I was doing bold predictions this week, so I was like, who all made it last year? And I had to look back on it. Shout out to everyone who loves bold predictions on NDBowling.com.
I think it's fantastic.
Is it?
I know a few of us around here, we look forward to seeing what your opinion is and bold predictions and everything. It gets us talking about the tournament and even more excited. So
Love it.
It's awesome.
I do believe there are quite a few people out there who click on the article and scroll straight to the bottom. They don't even read anything to see who's listed. And I get a lot of messages throughout the week. Why'd you pick this person? What do you think's going to happen? I was like, well, this is my thought.
That's great, though, right? Like that.
Yeah, I think it's a confidence booster for some people, to know that other people think you have a good shot at this. So,
Absolutely, for sure.
unfortunate there for Israel Potter with the
He is, unfortunately, whether he's hitting the right pocket or the left pocket, is just not getting the right pin carry. So the ball's not going through the pins the way he needs it to, unfortunately, because he's not throwing it terribly, but it's
Yeah, unfortunately for Israel, it does look like his tournament is probably going to come to an end here.
Yeah.
He is mathematically out of the equation
What a
with
great week.
Austin's four-bagger. But yeah, good.
He still gets 7th. You know, you never know depending on what happens with Jamie here.
Yeah.
I do. Let me
Uh,
find my payout sheet. Do you have a payout sheet there, John?
I do.
All right, looking at our payout sheet. So it does matter in this match the second and the third place scores because that's where they will finish overall in the tournament. So even though you're not the
Shot.
top scorer in this match, you still want to beat the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So 8th will take home $800. 7th will get $900. So
Oh,
the
$100 difference.
yeah, 2 players eliminated here in this match will get $800 and $900 respectively. Looks like Austin has a stranglehold on this match and will advance.
Yeah, I think it's definitely over now for sure.
And Jamie could tell he didn't get that to the right early enough, so
Yeah.
didn't make it.
Kind of telling his demeanor a little bit too. He knows.
Yeah.
But he has nothing to be ashamed of. You know, amazing showing to climb his way into the ladder.
Yeah. Pulled a huge 279 just to get in here to give himself the chance.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Good week for Israel, though. Like I said, he went to team trials, finished top 12 in the nation.
This is 2 years in a row that he's made the top 8 Stepladder at the Manitoba Open. Now for a young player, he's making a name for himself.
He's very young, gaining a lot of experience, learning bowling balls. Just signed with Motive Bowling and bowls anything he can, and he's really coming up really fast.
He's also started drilling bowling balls too. At
Nice.
yeah, at Lavrandre Pro Shop there at the other major 10-pin center here in Winnipeg.
Does he only know how to do 2/3 of the holes?
Well, he hasn't quite mastered the thumb hole yet.
Yeah.
But he's learning. He's only been in there for about 6 months or since April or so. So about 8 months. But he's loving it. So he's giving him the opportunity to try different things for himself too, right? So he's understanding the whole other side of the game because there's so many different ways of thinking about the game, the physics and everything. So to understand the cores and layouts and everything, it gives him a total advantage.
And just kind of finishing up our scores here, Israel Potter with 175. Jamie will be with a spare into the 190s, but Austin Ducharme looks like he is getting comfortable once again.
Which can be pretty scary for everybody else. Trying something different just to get a look.
And I'm a firm believer that if you have a really good reaction with urethane on a situation like this in a Stepladder finals, I want to throw as few shots with that urethane as possible to preserve the shot to the way you like it. And that might be a case here for Austin. He knows he doesn't need to throw it. Just try some other stuff, preserve how many urethane shots you're going to have left on our show. And
it also kind of gives you an idea of what transition is, like what kind of transition is happening out there. So it might be a little bit different than what we've seen earlier today. Try a different ball. It might look the same as earlier or something different, but it's information.
yes.
You know, and for right now, there's no harm in finding something you want to match by 50 pins. So it's a good idea to do, for sure.
So update our bracket. Austin Ducharme will advance. He will take on Dustin Harold and Mitch Hoope in our second 3-for-1 match, where the high score will advance to take on Doug Wagner Jr. And as you can see, Zack Wilkins and Thomas Wolf waiting at the top of the bracket. Both Wilkins and Wolf looking for their first NDBowling.com major title, which is surprising to say, but it
Very surprising.
is the truth. Gives us a quick moment to thank the sponsors of the tournament. See them right there. Helped raise over $10,000 in added money this weekend to the Manitoba Open, so big shout out there. I'd like to thank our main sponsors, Storm, the official bowling ball sponsor of the High Plains Bowling Network, for the third consecutive year. We do appreciate that. And again, our jersey partner, Zello Gear. You can save 10% at zellogear.com by using promo code NDBowlTV10. Again, I'm Darren Cini, joined by Mike Schmidt and Jonathan Domingo, taking a picture here live in the booth.
She got us. She got us with the family photo.
And again, our next show will be 2 weeks from today, January 26th, North Oval in Minot, for the Morris Anderson Memorial Shootout live here on NDBowlTV.
So in step Dustin and Mitch. Dustin took a few shots, I know, while waiting for this to start. Mitch was just tightening up his hair and making sure it looked good.
Oh, he's behind the pillar there.
Yeah.
So we talked about how Austin, being a local guy, won the Manitoba Open last 2 years. Mitch, also another local guy. He won the Manitoba Open
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, I forget who he bowled against, though.
We already brought
Oh,
this
yeah, we did
already
bring
brought
this up.
this
See, I was too busy packing my stuff up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm late to the party.
Yes.
You know, I did bring a cooler, though, so.
The one thing I do want to mention about that match, didn't Mitch win with like a 150?
It was a one.
Yes. I don't even think combined they shot 300.
It was 301.
Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you.
Sorry.
And did I gas a 3-pin to lose? Yes.
I thought you guessed a 5-pin to lose.
Oh my.
That's what I heard.
No.
Okay.
John, just be lucky it wasn't on NDBowlTV, so we don't have it in the archives. We can't just bring it up and watch it here really quick.
No.
But
It is out there though. Ah, the memories.
looks like we're going to have another person in the booth with us.
We're having a party in here. This is great.
Yeah, Bill Massey says Thomas Wolfe for the win. Let us know in the chat room who you think is going to win the Manitoba Open title. And joining us now is Team Canada member and PWBA member Felicia Wong. Felicia, welcome to NDBowlTV. I don't know if we can see you. You're going to have to scoot in.
Oh,
but,
I can scoot in.
Kyle's making us take another.
We're taking pictures here, guys.
Can I
Multiple
actually
pictures.
scoot in?
We can even switch spots.
No, we don't have to switch spots. Your face is so handsome.
Felicia, how many times Team Canada? 24?
I have to count it, but it's either
Oh, my
15 or
goodness.
16.
You got to take her shoes off so she has needs
Yeah.
her toes to count. There's so many times. Which is
Yes.
awesome. Congratulations yet again.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a lot of fun last week.
We do have some Felicia fans in the chat room, so
No
shout out
way.
to everyone watching today. And shout
Oh,
out to
Tiffany.
Felicia
Hi, Tiffany.
joining us.
She loves me.
Last week it was like a few days ago.
It was a few days ago, which is
Yeah.
crazy to think. It feels like
Yeah.
a long time ago already. But also today's bowling, and yesterday I bowled 12 games, so
Right.
my brain's a little fuzzy.
You entered twice?
I had to enter twice, yes.
Okay. What did you see on the first squad compared to the second?
I actually had ball motion magically on the second squad. Like my ball shaped on the first squad. That didn't happen.
Right.
So
You start, were you on opposite ends of the center from one shift to the other?
let's see. The first shift I started on, I started down at the low end.
Which is
Right.
usually typically the tighter end.
And then the second shift I started, I think, around here.
Yeah.
And so it was better. It was much better.
So basically, here at Chateau, just the way the topography works and the air and everything, the higher the lane number that you're going to, chances are the higher your scoring is going to be.
Although I had my highest game today in the match play on 9 and 10, but
Well, then
Aaron
take
Craig and I had
everything-
set it up real nicely on our starting
Take everything
pair.
I said and just throw it in the trash then.
Chateau's a little bit of an enigma sometimes, though. Like you
it
think,
can be,
I've got it
yes.
figured out, and then you go to a pair and you're like, that didn't do what I was expecting it to.
Yeah.
And there's a few pairs here in the middle, like our championship pair, that just seem to play so different
Yep.
than the rest of the house.
Remember when we used to go 15, 16, 17, 18 back and forth?
Yep.
Like, these four lanes probably play the most different from each other than any other pairs in the house, or even lanes in the house, like you say. So when we used to have to go back and forth, it was like a whole new. You had to discover the pair all over again. Even if it sat for a game and you had to go back, it was like a brand new thing.
Well, and
So-
these pairs are in front of the counter, so do they get
Yes.
used the most in that sense? Like from an open play perspective?
That's a valid point that I'm not 100% sure,
Yeah.
but
just
it makes
question.
sense. I do know that because it is the center of the building, just the way the air
Sure.
flows in here. At least that's what I've been told. So I don't know.
You know, and in bowling, we can only know so much.
Right.
Like there's so
absolutely.
many unknown factors. We've never had a topography map.
Never.
That would be really interesting to see.
I would be curious to know that
Yes,
about
me
this
too.
house, yes.
Yeah. I think if we did that for the Open next year or in the future, I think scoring would be a lot higher.
Yeah?
Just because then you can be like, Okay, well, I just, like Felicia was saying, that lineup on this pair, move over to another pair, you expect them to be a little different, but not having to move a zone. So
So
I think
you
it'd
would
be
actually
pretty
see
cool.
those hot zones where there's more
Yeah.
friction and be able to like jump left of it
Yeah.
if you're right-handed.
Which I am.
You are.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
For those who don't know, Felicia is the lone lefty in the booth here.
Also the lone current member of Team Canada for the next year.
I am by far the worst bowler in the booth right now. I can tell you all that.
But you definitely have the nicest voice.
Oh, do I?
Just the way
So soothing.
The people that watched our show last week would probably disagree. But
Oh, really?
I lost my voice on stream, yeah.
Oh.
But
That's a different story.
it was rough. But we are underway here in game number 2, the second 3-for-1 match. Austin Descharmes, Mitch Hoope, and Dustin Harold.
That wasn't too far off, and it took off on him.
Look a little left
And-
from
and-
this angle here.
Mitch is not going with urethane, so their ball reactions are going to conflict a little here.
Was Austin the only one throwing urethane in the first match?
Jamie was as
Jamie
well.
was-
Jamie was, and Israel was flipping
Back and forth.
back and forth, but using a tank. So
He used the tank when he was doing backup, but he was throwing some other motive ball.
yeah,
So he might have created some hold for Dustin over here for this match.
Might have, yeah.
might have messed with them a bit.
As you can see, Dustin is throwing a harsh reality. Is that the solid or the pearl?
It looks like the solid from what I could see. It has a yellow label versus the green, but he's been able to use that for the entire day,
Yep.
which was impressive.
When I saw him on Friday, that was the ball he was using when he went 270, 250, and it looked really good.
And I see that Mitch is throwing that Attention Star S2, I believe. So Felicia, as a
Pretty good.
fellow Storm staffer, what's your favorite products on the market right now?
Ooh, I have a really good solid lineup. I could go from the Gem to the Optimum Idol to the Nova to the Summit Ascent, and it's like they complement each other
nice.
really well.
All great
That's a fun
products.
thing.
Have you thrown the level yet?
Not yet.
I have it drilled at home, but I didn't bring it because I didn't think I would need it. Because when I come here, I need as much hook as I can get.
Same with me, which
Yeah.
is why I couldn't use trusty urethane.
But like, so of all those bowling balls, which one's your favorite smelling one? Considering Storm is the only
Valid
company that
question.
does
I
that.
really like the Summit Ascent. It's
That's a
orange
nice
cream
one.
soda.
Yeah.
See, and every time I throw that one, I feel like I'm holding BioFreeze. Like it smells like BioFreeze, like the one I have.
That is not how mine smells. I don't have that mintiness in there.
Yeah, mine is 100%. I think I'm like, did somebody? Oh no, they're throwing a Summit Ascent.
Well, I think you should email HQ and say, that
That was a little wide.
left.
I don't want to come off as a weirdo, but I know if I get a phase 2 drilled up, a certain someone saves me the shavings so I can just give them a whiff here and there.
That
Hey,
is a
little
bit of a
poke right
weirdo, but
there.
I love it.
But it's so good.
It is good. Red
So
Velvet is
good.
probably my
Yeah.
favorite of all of it.
Yeah.
Like an all-time ball, all-time
Yes.
smell.
Although if you think about the original X Factor was chocolate.
Oh, that one
Yeah.
was amazing. Yes.
I'm a big fan of the IQ Tour. That's the, what is that, the apple pie,
Yes, I would
Yeah.
agree on that one too.
apple crisp, something like that. That was
Apple
an
crisp
all-time for
sounds
me.
accurate.
Yep.
There was one that was like birthday cake or something like that. I
Ooh,
believe
the
it was
Tropical
Axiom
Storm,
Pearl.
that was
Tropical
like
Storm.
that. Yeah.
Oh, and the
I could just take a
Axiom Pearl, I think.
slice off of that.
Uh-oh.
Get there.
Holy
So
smokes.
recovers,
Wow.
That came back from nowhere.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially lane 18.
I guess
So
it
for
helps to have Mitch's
hair.
Yeah.
hand.
Hair. Okay,
hair, hand.
You can tell
Both of
he-
those things.
John, we're out of this conversation.
Yeah.
If we're gonna talk about hair in the booth, I'm out. I don't. I'm losing that conversation.
But you can tell Mitch slipped there. He comes back and he was wiping off his shoe there. So he looked-
Yep. All right, Descharmes, frame 3. Doesn't want to get too far behind Mitch here.
He'll throw it pretty good here.
It's a pretty good shot.
oh my.
That was a great shot.
Talking about Austin, didn't he win some international competition like the Masters or something like that not that long ago?
He won the all events gold for the World Championship.
Perhaps it's in
Yeah.
his bio. You
2020.
know.
Oh,
Yeah, we have
in
those.
Kuwait. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
really was only like just over a year ago, right?
Yeah.
yeah, just over a
Yeah.
year ago it was like November timeframe.
Yeah.
Gold, all events gold there. He has 49 youth national medals.
That's a
IBF
lot.
World Team,
That
yeah.
is a lot.
He does mention he's not married and has no kids. There's Dustin Harold out of Minnesota.
The lone
Did win
lefty.
the Sunopta Sweeper. He is married but has no kids.
I wonder his finish. What did he finish in the Classic last year? Top 5?
That
he
looks
has
a little
been, or sure.
inside.
I want to say that's the solid. Now that I
He's
keep
kind of rubbing
seeing
his
it.
thumb a little. Maybe he's feeling a little inconsistent with his release.
One high, one light. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to get your feet under you when that happens.
Mitch is one of
shot
those
there.
that likes to troll us on his info sheet. He says his high game is 268, but he's finished first here at the Open. Yeah, Mitch is one of those guys. 714 series.
He
Yep.
opened with
No.
289
Like you say,
yesterday.
you take a look at the board here. He's got an 837 here. You know.
Yeah, good thing there's everyone in the booth knows enough about Mitch to know that he's trolling us on his info sheet.
He's a humble individual.
Yes.
By far, but this is ridiculous.
This is. I'll give you the
Help us out a
real.
little bit.
I'll give you the real bio. New homeowner.
There you go.
Logan Stanley fan, the only one of the Winnipeg Jets that he likes. I don't know because he's a lone wolf on that one.
So what does Austin do on this shot to create a little bit of a quicker shape down lane? Because his ball's looking a little slow.
So he did try throwing something in a fill shot that looked not bad at the end of the first match.
Like a reactive.
It was reactive. But like his last two shots, it's not like they were bad. It's just half pocket 10 and a solid 10.
Oh,
All right, got the 10 out.
gotta ask him what he did.
The only thing I could think of is maybe slightly get around it a bit
I
more.
would think so too.
That would
Yeah.
be the only thing, because he's not throwing it bad.
It's hard to tell how much Austin
That looks
plays with
pretty
his speed too, just to let it read a little bit more.
That's true.
And it does get a little long for him. Mitch is a bit more vocal about that and sharing that when I do watch Mitch bowl.
That's got a hook.
Wow, a
Fortunate
9
to
count
get
out of
9,
that
yeah.
is,
That looks super quick off his hand.
Yep. And he looks at his thumb.
It's a good 9, though. Mitch also just came back from team trials, making the Canadian team for yet another year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did
Finished
lose in the
second.
finals. Yep.
He finished second, but it's got to
Finished
be like
second.
close to his 10th time on the team.
think so.
Between youth and adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going
Gotta
to
be
call him
around
out. Graham Foss got his number. He's lost him twice.
If he would have wrote it on his bio, we could tell you.
I got
That's
it.
true.
I got it in my head.
Okay.
He's lost him twice by 2 pins.
I
each
will.
time.
I will say I did tune into the live stream coverage of team trials. I always like to do that before this tournament to kind of see which players are bowling well, and did see Felicia kind of mow him over there until the Stepladder finals. Just lost in the final, took second, but
Yeah, that,
still.
I mean, that was the first time I've led from game 1 to the end, and that was pretty exciting.
Opportunity for Austin
gotta
here.
That's
Very nice.
I just wonder if he did a parallel or if he just totally tugged that one, because that one, from my angle here, looked at least 2-3 boards left of where he was playing in the first game.
It looked like his feet were a little left.
Yeah.
See if
All
Dustin
right,
can
Dustin
get the
here.
double here.
See, 18 just won't tilt up as strong.
I mean, at least this pair was in play during qualifying, so people could have gotten.
It was
Some
not in.
feel.
Oh, it was not
No.
during
Great shot.
yesterday.
Yeah,
and
the
Friday?
first 3
Oh,
shifts
sorry,
it was,
during
yes.
qual-
yeah,
qualifying,
just
yes.
so people can get an understanding of the differences between the pairs.
But yeah, for today,
Today was not
they
right.
left it alone. Yeah.
So do you think Mitch has some inherent advantage of knowing, and Austin as well, how this pair kind of reacts?
They know it.
I would
I
think so.
would
really
say
well.
100% yes.
Yeah.
Because like at North Hill Bowl, for instance, I grew up there. When you go down to the high end of the house, that's where all the birthday parties are. Most of the open play. The smaller tournaments that aren't like the Morris, they're all down on the low end. So you have more friction down there. They're tighter down towards the high end.
Yep.
It's just historically how it is, and guys that bowl there their whole life understand that.
I remember when we were in the booth once before, in Minot actually,
Sure.
and I was asking you about a couple of tricky pairs because you brought it up and you You wouldn't let me know. You kept telling me, oh, you got to
The aisle pairs. I'll tell you that now.
That's
The
some
aisle
hard-fought
pairs.
information and knowledge.
It's taken me
Can't be
10
given up.
years.
Oh, wow.
Boy.
That is the information you look for when you.
But let's see, Mike. Like, I'm the guy that's always on the bubble. I'm always the guy barely getting into the cut.
Yeah.
And you're 6-time Open champion, 2-time World Cup champion. Should I really pass on that information?
After the fact, sure.
You're getting nothing.
I mean, I would appreciate it.
Well, now we're passing it on to everyone in the chat room as well. So
Well, hopefully that will bring more people out
I hope so.
and more entries. And
Yeah, 2 weeks away. Call up North Hill Bowl and Minot.
There was
Still spots available.
a gentleman who didn't have any info on the lane play, but he did know where the fans were over each pair, and he's like, I can't wait till we get to 18 or whichever pair it was. It's got a great fan over top. I was like, right on.
Vital things. I mean, this is why I travel with my own hand fan.
Yeah.
You just never know what you're going to get.
There were a few of those today I saw.
all right, Mitch can take a pretty big control here.
Frame 6.
Oh,
with-
throws a messenger into the 10-pin.
And
I
he
don't see
runs
many
it
of
out.
those very often, so it's kind of fun to see them on NDBowlTV.
I mean, and it can be tricky to get messengers at Chateau, right, with the twister pins that they have, and
A lot of times they go in front,
Big
Yes.
Yeah.
unless you're Mitch Houpe.
unless you're Mitch Houpe. Yes.
I think Zach got one around game 6, and he said that's the first one all weekend. And, he tosses it around really well. So,
All right, Dustin Harold, frame
very-
7, needs a double.
It
Trips
looked
out
like
the
he got that
6,
in a
but-
bit.
Yeah, that definitely looks tight from here.
Again, the high score here will take on Doug Wagner in our next match in a head-to-head stepladder final the rest of the way.
That looks pretty good.
Oh, what hit the 10 out?
It might have been the wind from his rev rate
Right.
with the ball going by. Hurry. All right.
does anyone see Doug around? Is he bowling or watching? Because he exclusively.
He's right there.
Three pairs over. Yeah.
Because he pretty much threw a purple hammer all weekend, so I feel like he'd be searching for a little bit of info on this.
So there was a game where him and I crossed. He was throwing purple hammer. Then at a fill shot, he tried a summit ascent, and it went
Got
68 feet.
Yeah.
And so I jokingly said to him, I was like, why even bother trying to throw? Just put it back in your bag. You know what you're going to throw then the rest of the day. Because he had such a good look. So
And so did that not get affected by all the other purple hammers that were going down the lane? Like his
know-
look just stayed the same for all of all of match play?
So I saw him probably about game 5, game 4 or 5, something like that. The rest of the day, I don't know how well he had done. But obviously very well to make the ladder. He qualified number 3. I don't know what he did later on, if he changed balls or areas or whatnot.
The way Doug's ball roll is and speed and the way he plays with it is, it looks so much different compared to Austin playing with urethane as opposed to Doug.
It's almost like Doug likes to overpower the lane.
Yeah.
Like the year he won the Classic, I think it was 2-3 years ago now, the lanes were ugly on the stepladder final, and he just got left
Yeah.
with the rev rate that he's got and
Oh,
just tried to like overpower what was left.
Yeah. It was loft and fallback pretty
Yep.
much when I watched that. And
which again isn't a bad play when you're combating topography challenges or differences between pairs.
This is pretty big here.
A 10 pin there for Mitch.
I'm pretty sure too, like that tournament was a few years ago, and Doug was using a gold IQ tour in that match.
Yep. Way old. Or like Doug was also using I think it was our original Idol, like the blue Idol Pearl.
Yeah.
He was using one of those, like very old. Said he had like 1,000 games on it.
Well, that was a little skinny for Mitch's 10 pin
I
there.
don't think he likes the approach on 18.
Oh.
It's the second time he's stuck over there.
He's got good enough ball motion to cover that right now.
Does kind of give a glimmer of hope to the other two guys, though. In a way, you never know.
You never know. I
Right.
mean, Austin's still got 231. Dustin's got 216. Mitch has got to stay clean and finish
Smears
this
out
up.
for 230s. Oh,
And there he goes.
Wow.
Well, and if you
There's a
look at
solid
Austin,
10 and a scout.
he's playing the two lanes quite differently.
Yes. Yeah.
That was the same hit in, I believe, frame 2 or 3, and that time he got the scout
Yes.
as opposed to the first time around.
Great shot there by Dustin. Keeps him hanging around.
That looked more like what he was doing during match play all day today.
Yeah.
That's pretty good too. Great shot.
I love the way he gets out of the ball and is so forward with it. And I don't know if that's like something he's learned to be successful on tour, but he gets such good rev rate, but it's forward, and his ball motion is so good as a result.
Kind of feel like it's been that way for, I mean, you two would know better as John and Mike Schmidt, but you've been around Mitch since he was a youngin' there.
Yeah.
That's been a facet of his game
Also
for a
went to
long
college
time.
in the States, you know, and
Yeah.
as a pro and everything too. I know, John, you've traveled with him, so you might have a better insight on his release and stuff, but
It's more of his natural role, whereas when he gets out onto tour, he's really trying to work on slowing it down, shaping the whole lane, and getting it to the right early, using rotation. And I know he made a company change to Storm or to Global 900, sorry, and he really feels like it's helped his game and allow him to go back to what he really does best, which is roll it and stay behind it and have great ball motion. So very
Shot there
happy
by
with his
Dustin.
move there.
oh, for sure, yeah, because way easier to get the ball down the lane for him.
Yeah.
'Cause he does have a lot of rev rate, a lot of heavy roll. It does look like he does have a little bit of tilt, though.
He has tilt,
Yeah.
but he works on adding more, taking some off. And
Yeah.
sometimes he feels like if I work on this other thing, I'm losing my A game,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
All right, so Austin still has 231 possible.
Oh.
He's got to hurry.
Oh,
Great
wow.
shot.
And if Mitch spares out, he's got
Chance.
238. Spare strike is 238 for Mitch, so a strike here. Make Mitch work for it at least.
So I don't want to say it out loud, but this is very similar situation to what we had 2 years ago when they met in the stepladder.
Just said
I
it.
like how you turn around to
turned
say it too.
around.
Like,
Said it.
I'm not going to
Turn
say it
around.
toward the lane, but I am
don't
going to
want
say it to the
anybody else
curb.
to hear it.
Yes, I should have brought the camera in the booth there. That was pretty good.
But
That was excellent.
just trying to be respectful to everybody out there.
So
It's just like, I don't know, but let's just say very similar situation, and Mitch did
Yeah.
not advance. So
Let's see what
he's
happens.
keeping him honest here. 100%. He's done all he can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, got a mark.
great shot.
Well, and so
Great
was Austin,
finish.
giving him a little bit of something to think about.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I mean. You know, like for him to go back 7 there, back 6.
Especially after that shot in the sixth frame.
Yeah.
All right, so Mitch needs a mark here.
Great week by Dustin. He'll wrap it up in
Absolutely.
6th place.
Sixth place money is $1,000, so good weekend for him, and gotta have it.
Gotta have it.
Again, big shout out to Melody and the crew here for raising over $10,000 and just shy of $25,000 total prize fund.
Yeah, so if
That's-
any of our watchers are considering coming out next year, they do a really great job with the fundraising, the sponsorships,
Yeah.
the taking care of the bowlers. Here we go.
Oh, and he's got it.
On the spare. So Mitch will advance pending
Just keep it on the lane.
count
Go
here,
lane.
yeah.
Yeah.
Needs 4.
The foul lights are on, right?
Yikes.
Why didn't you turn
Mike,
around
didn't
for? Why didn't you
turn
turn around for
around.
that?
Turn around,
Sorry,
Mike.
sorry. No, no, he'll be just fine.
And he
All
gets
right, here it
8.
is.
So 236.
What a
For Mitch
scaredy
is the
cat.
winner.
Move left too.
Well, information for sure.
So let's update our bracket.
Wow.
There it is. Mitch Hoope will advance to take on Doug Wagner Jr. Mitch looking for his second Manitoba Open title. He won 3 years ago here at Chateau Lanes.
And so how many times has Doug Wagner been to the Manitoba Open?
This is one he tends to bowl every year. I know
Okay.
he usually travels up here with two-time winner Eric Parvey and them, but they didn't come up this year.
I was curious
But
about
he
it.
said he's been top 10 a few times in his
Okay.
bio, so no stranger to the Manitoba Open is Doug. And again, he did shoot that $1,200 300 game yesterday.
No, I have to bug him because last year I had purchased him in the investment seminar,
Yeah.
and he did not have this type of showing last year. Not even close.
So you were a little gun shy to purchase him again this year? Is that?
I wanted nothing to do with it.
Well, joke's on you, Mike.
Yeah, but it's nice to see that. Like, I knew he could do it, and it's nice
Yeah.
to see that he can do it. Right. So.
And big shout out to all the sponsors here at the Manitoba Open. You can see them there on your screen. Quite a few of them. Big shout out to them supporting this event once again. And a shout out to our main sponsor, Storm, the official bowling ball sponsor of the High Plains Bowling Network for the 3rd year in a row. And thanks to our jersey partner, Zello Gear. You can save 10% at zellogear.com by using promo code NDBowlTV10. Again, stay connected with us on social media. Follow us on Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. And follow us on Facebook. That is our main source of communication for all of our events. As we mentioned earlier, our next show will be in Minot at the Morris Anderson Memorial Shootout 2 weeks from today, January 26th, live from North Hill Bowl, right here on NDBowlTV. Again, I'm Darren Cini alongside 6-time winner here, Michael Schmidt, Jonathan Domingo, and Team Canada member Felicia Wong. Thank you for joining us today. Stepladder finals. We're moving on to the head-to-head matches. Doug Wagner, Mitch Hupe up next. A couple of Wichita State shockers.
That's
Going
right.
This one, yes,
Forgot
Doug
about
did go to
that.
Wichita State.
Yes.
I actually didn't know that.
Briefly,
I might have graduated a little bit before he would have gone.
But yes, very briefly, he went to Wichita, so there are a bunch of teammates there.
Yeah.
Any predictions on this next match?
I think it really depends on how that purple hammer looks.
Yeah, I can start. Doug's got to lay down in this match because he stayed with Mitch this weekend. So if he wants to come back up again in room for free. But yeah, I think it depends on how Doug matches up. This is early, and this is when Doug really got out of the gate well. So we'll see in warm-up. Give me a couple shots. I'll make a for sure call.
Yeah, we'll wait till Doug gets over here. You will get 2 shots on each lane. I know everyone out there loves our bold predictions, so if you're in our chat room, give us your bold predictions on who you think's going to win.
Mitch is looking at what Doug has in his hand and just nodding his head in disapproval.
So you're saying Mitch is a Purple Hammer fan.
I mean,
Is that my boy Ryan Reed in the group chat?
Yes, Ryan Reed is in the chat room asking if this is a
buddy.
comeback tour.
Oh, buddy, I miss you, man. Comeback tour. I never left. I just haven't been bowling that good.
Yeah, I mean, you've made 2 shows in a row now. I mean,
2 shows. in a
albeit back here, but
Oh,
you were on the show last year. You're on the show now.
Yeah, okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down there, Darren.
I always tell people I hold the record for most shows. I've made more shows than anybody.
All right,
It's gonna be a tough record
Doug's
to beat.
first practice shot goes Brooklyn.
yeah, he hammered the crap out of it.
Well, perhaps he added a
Hammered
bunch
the
of
crap out of it. Did you
Yeah.
intend for that?
I don't know. He hit it with a ton of surface, it looked
right
like.
in the first shot with urethane,
Yeah.
especially after surface adjustment, usually takes off.
But yeah, I got to actually travel with Doug to the USBCs last year as he was on our companion team,
Oh, nice.
and it was great to get to.
I mean-
great to get to know him.
Those darker boards are really slick.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a ball hook from there.
Doug's going to love watching this one back, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure Abby is watching back home. Hi, Abby. It was great to meet you too last year. But yeah, Doug, a little bit different role, tons of speed. He plays them a little bit differently, so he gets a different look with his bowling balls compared to others.
Now, let's look into the chat room here. Chat owner, thank you for tuning in. Going for Thomas Wolf. Chase Bowles, shout out to Felicia. And a viewer says,
we'll
come
be
to the
seeing
Dubai
Chase
Open.
in Stepladders in not too many years. He is only 14 years old.
So
and
that
throws it
Chase is
incredibly.
the Chase that bowled here.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Was he 14, 13?
He's 14.
14, same age as Tatum Lee, another
Yeah.
young bowler from the States. They're both so good.
Chase, after 2 games at our team trials, was sitting in second place.
Wow.
Yeah.
And his first time bowling team
First time
trials
ever
at
bowling
14
team
years
trials,
old.
yeah.
Finished
So-
in the top 50%. I think he was the 6th best youth in the nation for that one.
Made
Correct.
the cut.
Yeah.
He made the cut.
Made
Wild.
the cut.
That's
Yeah.
For
insane.
his very first.
Also,
Team
you should
trial.
check out his Instagram video because he imitates a bunch of Manitoba bowlers, and it is the most fantastic thing I've ever seen.
It's actually pretty good. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
He imitates Earl left-handed as a
geez.
righty.
Does he do the mic? Does he do the shoulder?
Oh, he
Oh, yeah.
does. Oh, yeah.
And the 20 board step to the left. Yes,
does.
absolutely.
He does the Israel two-handed.
Yes.
The
That's
first
pretty
step.
good.
He does the Marshall with the loop.
Yeah.
And gets it off his hand.
Yes.
That's impressive.
All right, so Doug is the higher seed. He will get lane choice. Again, this is now a head-to-head match.
He did hit the pocket on his last practice shot.
You think, yeah, I mean, he's got to still be throwing the purple, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his second shot on 18 there, he did strike with the purple. So it looked pretty good. Might have just been nerves. I don't know. Is this the first time he's made a show in Winnipeg?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
He says a
know.
couple top tens, but, or a few.
Right.
First time making the
Maybe.
show, I can pretty much say for certain. I know he's made a show up in Minot when he was really
Yeah.
young. I think he threw like 300 to get in like
Yeah,
11th or
Big
12th game.
position around game to jump like 6 people to get into the show, yeah.
Just showing off my memory,
Wow.
Felicia. No big deal.
Jonathan
cool
Domingo
flex.
is like the Cliff Clavin
Yeah.
of local
love it.
bowling.
I love it.
He knows all of the.
Random bowling
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah,
It's impressive.
the
Ren-
Rolodex
yes.
of bowling facts. I love it.
Ask him who Team Korea was from 2010. He'll give you the starting
yeah. I'll
lineup.
start with Choi Bak-eum, Jungwoo Park,
Jongwoo Park, though.
yeah, Hong Hae Sol probably. I got 3.
All right, so we got Mitch here starting off this match,
That looks really far left.
and that's a pretty good 9.
So Mitch had to watch while Doug warmed up. He gets no warm-up, so he comes off a little bit cold. But, I mean, he didn't do any warm-ups between the 8-7-6 match, so probably just shaking off the rust a little bit.
All right, good cover.
Just acknowledge Dustin again. Great showing. 6th. Austin Ducharme comes up in 5th this week. And
Yeah, $1,100, $1,000 for 6th.
1,000 for
That-
6th.
I always like to
Great.
know where's the first spot that goes under 1,000, you know, and
Yeah.
having 6th place is the last $1,000 spot. That's impressive for the prize fund. That's great.
And you
Yeah.
make the top 32 and you double your
Yeah.
entry
Yep.
fee. That's
Mhm.
they make sure that that happens.
In qualifying yesterday, I think 3 guys just fell short of the cut 2 by 1 pin, and they had to have a 3
Wow, yeah.
roll off just to see who the alternate was.
All right, purple hammer.
Shirt from shot. Good starting shirt from Doug.
Yeah, he definitely gets a lot on the ball, eh?
He does. It's fast, and it's
He's got a little, that right
Well,
amount of tilt, too, to be able
yeah.
to get it through the front part. Still reads the mid lane because he's got that high rev rate and throwing a very sanded, wonderful purple hammer.
We should ask him what he sanded it to.
I'm going to go with 180.
I was going to say 60 grit.
unique about Doug too is he can do this straight up and then just jump left of you
Yeah.
and hook the whole lane if he wants.
Be interesting to see what he does here. He also chose to finish on this lane.
Is that unusual?
Ooh,
Holy
In
smokes.
the holds.
that's what
Wow.
I'm talking
Whoa.
about.
No, it's not that it's unusual. It's just we didn't see him throw a really good shot on
Yeah.
that lane in practice. So that's where
He has chosen wisely for now.
apparently, yes.
Yeah.
The
See-
chalice is correct.
Does Austin get that to hold in that spot? I don't
Yes.
think so.
He was playing quite a bit further left on the left lane than the
He
right
was.
lane.
Okay, so when he projected it slightly to the right, he had the hold.
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting.
You kind of heard the whole crowd here at Chateau Lane just kind
Yeah.
of go, ugh.
Was that just mom though?
Well, it might have been, but Mitch being the last local player in our stepladder. Oof.
All right, so 8 out for Mitch. Early advantage for Wagner.
What's going through Mitch's mind right now, John?
I won't lie, he's probably wondering what my wife's making him for dinner tomorrow because he comes over every Monday. He's probably saying that I thought that was good on 18. I'm going to make a better shot right now on 17, and I'll think about 18 when I get back. So
It's pretty good.
Good
Yeah.
guess. Oh.
Bird dog.
Oh!
Late trip. You gotta slap those out, Mitch.
Man, look at that emotion he showed the crowd.
Fist pumped it too.
Yeah. Greek church, bird dog, same old Mitch.
Same- Can't tell if you're looking at him 10 pairs down. You can't tell if he's 200 over or 200 under.
Is he ever 200 under?
Okay, fair, okay.
Yeah, well,
If he's either 200 over or 180 over, you just
Okay.
can't tell.
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it also looked like he laid them down really early, Mitch, especially on this one here. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Douglas here. Trusted it.
Oh, 9-pin.
That was a pretty great shot right there.
I'd say Mitch's tendency is that he does lay it down
Yeah.
earlier, and loft to him looks like what's normal to other people.
Yeah.
I know it well. I may lay it down at the foul line. It tends to roll pretty early at
May
you.
or may not. I like that.
So how many 9-pins do you think we saw this weekend?
A lot.
Yeah. First two games of match play this morning, I had 4 of them through the first 14 shots.
And in many cases, the 4 was there with it.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of those.
like
I didn't have one of those. I don't know why I'm trying to knock on wood. I'm done bowling.
You're
for
done
the day.
bowling.
You might as well turn around while
For
you're at
next
it.
year.
I don't understand why.
like
I fortunately didn't
typical-
have one of those at all this weekend.
typical Chateau leaves are 4-9s, 9-pins,
Some
Yeah.
5-7-10s.
some 5-7-10s.
I saw one earlier today.
There was, I think I saw one and I saw an almost one. And Doug yesterday left the 4-5-10.
The 4-5-10.
The 4-5-10 and he picked it up.
Like Dougie?
That's
This
impressive.
Doug.
Oh.
Right in front of us.
See, rev rate isn't always going to trip all that
He's
out.
like, guys, I got to really keep going. I got to catch Mitch for the leader, and he does that.
Yeah.
I mean, the spare I would like to see, though.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
All right, Wagner, frame 4.
A little bit of hold on that lane. Doesn't quite tip up.
So now, is that urethane taming down that little bit? That's
I
8
mean,
shots now.
He did, like, tug his first one on this
Yeah.
lane.
True. True.
And smashed the hole. So maybe he just needs to play it one left with his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little move.
Take advantage of that versus the high 4-pin.
But also basically playing the same area that Austin was with urethane too. So there's going to be that transition-y kind of mixture happening out there.
Again, the winner here will take on Zack Wilkins in our semifinal. And then Thomas Wolf is waiting in the championship match. And again, he must be defeated twice.
You know, and it's nice to see Zach and Thomas back here. It's
Yep.
been a few years for Zach. Talking
Few
with
years for Thomas, too, right?
earlier, yeah, and he was saying that. I was like, man, it's awesome to see you guys.
That's like
really
a better
good.
shot off Mitch's hand.
Oh,
Take it.
We just talked about that, did we not?
yes, you guys did. It would be your guys.
I didn't turn around and look away from the lane.
Yeah,
when I said
sorry,
that.
Mike.
Yeesh.
Yeah, we should have all turned around when we talked about it. It wouldn't have happened. I was about to say, though, the whole 7-pin, like the shaker 7, is a big leave for me at Chateau.
Yes.
Yeah, you just don't get the 5 to actually go into the 7 and
Yeah.
really mix it up.
Sometimes it's a little lazy getting over there. Yeah.
But yeah, it's great to see Zach back again. Him coming off third at Team Trials, back on Team Canada himself.
Yep.
I said he's just back to get on YouTube Shorts because I think Darren, you commented on his video.
Ah, yes, the 10-pin converted 9-pin in the showdown in Minot that ultimately cost him the
Yeah,
match.
It's got a hook.
Wow, and it
And
does.
didn't really face up there.
Now, he might be getting in that urethane
Carry down.
The wiggle.
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Wiggle. I like that. That's how my brain works.
I faced it a lot today as a lefty because almost all the
Yes.
lefties were throwing the purple hammer, and my ball would hook, and then it would just
Yep.
wave by as it went on by that spot.
So what's your adjustment to that?
That's a good question. I didn't find it today, but sometimes it looked better when I slowed it down and got around it a bit.
Yeah.
And I had to stay pretty on top of it so that I could use it as hold,
Sure.
play a little left of it, and get it going towards the head pin.
Like, even Mitch himself, I think you'd say, like what Felice said, you'd get a little bit left, slow it down, and shape it around the urethane.
Wow.
Holy.
So since when did 18 become the lane that reads early? That's shocking. Because we saw that, I think, in the last match, Austin left the exact same split on that lane.
Yeah.
Mitch,
And he had 17
same
going.
thing.
I think he rang those 2 10 pins on 17.
So there's something going on there on 18 where it's starting to blow open a little bit.
Well, opportunity for Mitch.
Yeah, basically even match now.
Yeah, what are we looking at? 244 max for Doug, and then
94. Yeah, well, I mean, it's 2 pins.
246 for Mitch.
Strikeout, 2-pin match.
Yep.
And these two qualified 1-2 and qualifying 2, so a happy home for the weekend for these two.
It's always nicer that way.
Yeah. Even like Israel and Austin facing off against each other, teammates, whole league together, traveled together,
Yeah,
share a
that's
lot of info. Young guys traveling, doing the bowling thing.
I like it.
That's a great shot.
Pretty good.
I like that the big dogs 1 and 2 seed have come over to start watching what's going on here.
Yep.
They're just eyeing everybody down. Will Thomas smile? Let's see. Hasn't smiled all day.
Oh, are you kidding me? He was smiling when he was shooting 260s and 270s earlier. For sure he was.
It's probably just a smirk.
Matt Smallin in the chat. Where has he been lately?
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Matt, my longtime doubles partner. Wish you were up here, buddy. Big
Ooh,
double there
leg
for
shaker
Mitch.
there.
Matt couldn't make the trip this year?
No.
Because he's made the show up here numerous times.
Yep.
He's a bit of a sneaky assassin, that one.
He is.
Pretty solid, good player for sure.
And as we mentioned earlier, our top 2 seeds have likely made more NDBowlTV shows without an NDBowling.com major win than any other players. And they are our top 2 seeds today, in Zack Wilkins and Thomas Wolf. So
There it is.
A little outside.
There you
That's
go.
good.
got the 10 out. I was looking at the 10 the whole time.
Yeah? See, I thought it was okay because to me it looked like he got a little spinning with it, which will help it
Right.
get that out of there.
Well, light hits are a little bit friendly in Chateau sometimes.
Yeah.
When you don't get that, light 7-pin or whatever. But
I don't think he's even thinking of a ball change either. I think he's really just playing with his wrist and
Yeah,
adding that rotation,
I would agree.
slowing it down a bit.
All right, can Doug answer the call here? Frame 7 working on a strike.
Gotta go.
Okay.
Fortunate to trip the 10.
As he almost left that, I just read his wife's comment here, and he picked up the 7, 8, 10.
All in the last month, yeah.
how did he leave a 7-8-10? That's
That is the better question.
We almost saw it there.
We did. We did. We almost got it. Yeah, all right.
But that, in my mind, that's a risky take. Throwing the urethane, especially as fast as his ball speed is.
Yeah.
Hooking at it.
And he
Yeah, like-
obviously had to make a move off the last shot there because he went through the face. Right? So he made the right move, but
Almost
probably
goes
just
from
a
big
little
4
too
to
much. Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Felicia, did you not like that he hooked at it? Or you just, because of it, going a little long. Were you
I'm always an
unsure?
advocate of straighter is greater because you never know topography-wise where you are, what's going to happen. My spare ball actually hooks quite a bit at Chateau.
You're calling
Yep.
Schmitty out because he hooks the whole lane at 4 pins.
You know, he
And
really likes
sevens.
Got to
it.
give the crowd a show.
He really likes it. Will he? Won't he? We don't know.
We don't
That's what
know.
I'm saying, right?
He looks at
And
me.
if you miss once, the crowd goes, oh.
Yeah. Mike,
So-
it's strike for show.
Oh.
Spare for dough.
Spare for dough. Yeah. Yeah, well, I like to put on a show all the time, every shot.
And you do. You really do.
Try.
We like it.
All right, Wagner, frame 8.
Oh, that's
Gotta
rough.
hurry. Yeah.
And you heard the collective groan in the crowd there.
Yeah.
So Wagner up against the 8 ball here.
That was really inside.
His feet look quite fast on that shot.
I did see Blake Wallstrom spare this in
Really?
game 8.
Okay,
Wow.
Abby, has he spared a Greek church in the last month, Hugh?
Well, we could see
Let's
it right
add
here.
this to the list. Oh no.
Get,
Oh no.
get count. Well, unfortunate 5-1 there for Douglas. Gives him a 135 in the 8th. He's going to need some help here.
Yeah, Mitch just gotta take a couple deep breaths, throw a couple good shots here, and
Just hit the pocket.
just get out of here with a win and move
Some
on.
spares
Yeah.
at the pocket. That's a good shot off his hand.
Beauty.
Good
Great
move.
shot.
And he was ready to go, too, on that shot. It didn't take him long. He didn't pause very long for Doug to finish. He knew what he wanted to do. So that's 126 in the 6 for Mitch. Doug's 135 in the 8.
Got 195 left for Doug, so
This,
strike here, it's about over.
yep.
That
yeah.
How
looked
about do it?
slow off the spot.
Did he move right?
You saw that 5-pin there, right?
Yeah, like it
Of
looked like
course. It got slapped silly.
So Mitch has a summit ascent on the chairs over there. Is that in preparation? Would that be his next ball down?
maybe Mitch being on staff. It's a random assortment of balls that he brings. Like I think he likes secretly just messing with himself. He texts me on a Monday and it'll be like, "What 3 should I bring to league?" And whatever I say, he does.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
you
and
should
that's
go out
the
on
other thing
tour.
is that Mitch has such
Yeah.
feel,
Mhm.
touch. He can do pretty much anything you want.
Yeah.
Roll it at 0 degrees rotation, 90-degree rotation, fast, slow.
Talent.
And he's so
Straight up
talented.
talent. Yes.
Like he'll show up to like a 2-day-old house shot to practice and be like, "I brought 3 ASIMs. I'm gonna see what I can do on this."
Yeah.
I'm like, makes sense.
But because you never know, right? To challenge yourself, if he can
He
figure something
does.
out with that, that's impressive.
You got to do it in practice so you can do it on tour.
Correct. Yeah.
Or in
Shout
these situations on 17 and 18.
Shout out to Daniel Skit in the chat room. Missed you this weekend. Hopefully you are doing well. Thank you for tuning in.
Daniel, good to hear from you.
And for Wagner, he's going to take home $1,300 for
That
fourth.
jumped. That was
That
a little bit
read right
surprising
away.
considering like the hold on the left lane that was happening earlier.
Yeah. But from my vantage point here, it looked like that ball like tilted at about 20 feet.
I do hope Mitch tries the ball just to see what it'll give him for reaction.
I think he should slash.
And I
needs
think he
to.
will.
Yeah.
He's smart enough, it seems.
I saw him walking with an eye
He's
on
correct.
Pro
Yeah.
earlier as well.
All right, I guess that's going to set up the stage for a Mitch Hoope, Zack Wilkins semifinal. Any early thoughts from you guys?
Zach's only got one of his own shoes on, so it's going to be
He's
a
a
tough
little
go.
lopsided. But he's had that all day, and I think he's done all right with that.
Man, like,
What? Were you talking about shoes?
he broke
broke
one of
his
his
shoe, yeah.
shoes.
His
and he's
right
wearing
shoe,
one of
thankfully.
Joe's.
The boa,
Oh,
the
yeah.
tightener, yeah, it
Yeah.
broke out on him.
I did not know that.
So his right shoe now has a little higher heel than his
Yeah.
left shoe, so
Yeah.
he's a little leany.
And he still qualified number 2.
Correct.
Yeah.
Still better than a majority of the field when
That-
Well, and it was
I
better
am
than his
breaking
left
my
shoe
right
breaking.
shoe as soon as we leave the building today.
That is
the
the
key.
secret, kids. If
Apparently.
you're looking to be good, just wear 2 different heights of shoes.
I think that's what's so scary and shows how good these two guys are,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like, I break a shoe, I'm still going to qualify second.
So it
Or
looks like Mitch did try a different ball there, and
That was the summit ascent.
Yep.
it looked so much smoother. And
It's a pretty clean cover. It's a symmetrical ball,
Yeah.
right? So
I'd be inclined to see something like a Pearl ASIM in his hand and see what that does.
I would like to see the origin. I saw, and I don't know if he knows where he left it because he left it over on 9 and 10, and I saw it down at the bottom.
Oh,
So
wonderful. The hidden origin.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it. 213 for Mitch Hupé, 175 for Doug Wagner. Doug takes home a $1,300 payday for fourth.
nice
What's up, Pete?
payday.
Our bracket, as you can see there, Mitch Hupé does advance. The winner here 3 years ago will take on Zack Wilkins. And I always told Thomas Wolfe, if you're going to win your first NDBowling.com major title, you're going to have to earn it. And seeing those two behind him, you're gonna earn it in ways I don't think you were expecting. But
Thomas has not won the K-Fire?
he is not. He is not won an NDBowling.com major title. Neither has Zack Wilkins, and both of them have probably made more shows in major finals and not won than anyone else.
Wow. Like I know you had mentioned that before, but now it finally hits. It got to the brain.
It's shocking.
And
It
it's
really
hard-
is.
It really is.
A
yes.
guy as talented as he is,
Yes.
he made it to the Stepladder final, actually the title match at the KFYR last year, and lost to Brady Stearns.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking
Hey.
of, where like he made it, where he got there.
He's made it to the final there and lost to Matt Smallin. He's made it to the final, I think, at the Classic as well.
Unfortunately, I know who may have beat him at the Classic.
For the record, 7 NDBowling.com major
Is that
titles.
still the record?
That is still the record, and there's nobody with 6.
Who's at
Yeah.
5? You want at 5?
Dave Schick's at 5. I believe Andy Mills is at 5.
Get on it, Andy.
Shout out to Duncan DeVries in the chat room. He's got Zach's other shoe.
What's
case
he
you were
planning to
wondering.
do with it?
I don't know, Zach, or Duncan runs a pro shop down in Sioux Falls, so perhaps
Yeah.
he's got connections to KR, something like that.
Maybe Zach signed it, and he's going to.
Auction
Sell
it
it?
off.
That's
Yeah.
that's also
Raffle it off.
possible.
Yeah. Wouldn't be probably get a pretty penny for it, Team Canada member, PBA Pro.
Do we have Zach's file? Ooh,
We
Zach,
do.
look
Zach
at that.
actually filled it out. Let's see how legit it is.
Oh,
Ass-
look at this.
Past Manitoba Open finishes, he's finished 5th, he's finished 4th, he's finished 3rd, he's finished 2nd. So he's
Is that a
missing.
pattern?
He's missing just
that a-
one. Yes. Past tournament wins, he can't remember. He says.
Too many to count.
That's a good problem to have. I would say. Does private lessons in Kansas City. Loves to golf. 8th in PBA points. Yes, had a great year out on tour last year. Is exempt this year, so we will see him likely out in Delaware here in a week or so to the start of the PBA tour. Has the highest 5-game set in the world.
Yeah, I
In the
saw
world.
that.
1455. He shot 297, 289, 289, 300, 280.
That's just silly.
That's
is-
disgusting.
That is.
280. Slacker.
And
Last game. That's incredible.
Says his girlfriend's from Wichita State and won the 2024 national championships.
right on.
So that's a good combo of bowlers right there.
Yeah.
So basically, in 5 games, he didn't knock down 6 pins.
Correct.
That's gross.
That is gross.
That is impressively gross.
So whose money's on Zach?
Yeah, like who are you going for? Let's
I
start
don't
with you,
know. Mitch has
Felicia.
home time advantage. I'm going to go with Mitch on this one.
Okay, John,
I'm going with Mitch. I mean,
He's got the
just,
topography
yeah.
knowledge.
Mike.
I really wanted to see Mitch throw a different ball, and then I would have gone with him.
And then he flagged a 4-pin.
Yeah.
Gotta call him out. Gotta stay
Keep him
integral
honest
here.
there.
So are you going with Zach?
I'm calling a tie where we're going to have a roll off. That's what I'm calling. And I'm going to put $10 on that because that's probably about 20 to 1.
Then
odds.
who's going to win the roll-off? You got to call someone, dude.
And don't turn around before you answer.
You want to
that.
bet 10 on that? I'll bet you a beverage that doesn't happen.
A Coca-Cola? Or sorry,
I
a
just-
Pepsi product?
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you, Pepsi.
Looks like Zach will start us off on the left lane. Let us know in the chat room who you think is going to win this match and take on Thomas Wolf in the final. Again, the winner of this match must defeat Thomas twice in order to win the title.
I have a feeling this will be a one-shot match. It'll be single pin difference. 2 Team Canada members going at it. It's going to be awesome for the crowd.
And I mean, they got to bowl together all day.
Bolt together all day, bolt together all week, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Just to comment on Zach again, like he said, 8th on the PBA Tour in points. Did he make a show?
Yes, he
Yep.
made his
Did.
first show and then actually got picked up in the league too. So he made
Right.
he was on a few shows there.
Huge season. I mean, getting exempt and
Ooh, Mitch crumbling that.
Wow.
You know, I've always said it here on NDBowlTV. It's awesome to see the players like Mitch and Zach, who, when I first started coming here, Mitch was missing cuts at this tournament
yeah,
before he went to college, and now he's
Yeah.
coming back here as arguably one of the best in the field, if not the best, and having success on tour. Same with Zach. It's great to see, and it's great for the viewers as well.
right. I think if you go back in history too and you look at some of the step ladders that have been hosted on ND Bowling,
That is a great shot.
I'm
shot.
pretty sure there was one with Mitch, AJ Chapman, and Matt McNeil.
Matt McNeil, yes.
And
That
AJ
was the
Chapman
year-
was here.
yeah,
Yep.
Oh, he was here a few times.
yeah, I think he
All
came
right.
up.
The
at
whole
least once or
Wichita
twice.
crew came up that year.
Yeah,
And when Mitch first went down to Wichita, they all came up together, and
yeah.
I think they took 4 out of the 5 stepladder spots. It was
Right.
insane.
Yes. Yeah.
And McNeil just ripped on Chapman for his spear shooting the whole time.
As he would, yeah. That's
Was
what
that the-
teammates do.
Was that the year that McNeil won it?
Maybe.
McNeil?
And shot one of his 2 300s here.
Zach, so
I don't know how many. If you look at the sheets there, Felicia, it'll show what years Matt McNeil won. He might be like. What's funny is that I think he's maybe came here at most 4 to 5 times and won twice, I believe.
He's
Has he
won
won?
twice for sure.
Yeah.
There it is, Matt McNeil.
yeah, he won in 18. I don't think he's won here again.
I
though.
think that was the only time.
Oh,
that he
maybe
won.
you're right.
He's won in Minot
made
twice.
A ton
Yeah.
of shows. Yes, Minot, yeah.
He's won that twice, and he won Minot that same year, I believe. Nice shot there,
So
pretty
Zach's
solid.
look is
Very impressive
pretty
looking first 3
disgusting.
shots.
Zach's looking good
he
again.
looks slightly better than Mitch's.
He's a little bit lefter. Looks like he's got a little something shinier in his
It's a
hand.
little cleaner. It still looks
Yeah.
solid, but cleaner.
He made a company
Can't see
change
what it is.
himself, and he probably credits a lot of that to big
It looks
difference.
like a theorem.
Yeah,
If I were a betting man, it's a theorem, and it might be a theorem pearl.
The new one.
I think
It's the
new
blue
one.
with the yellow
Yeah.
label, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a pearl ASIM then, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Get there. Yeah, see you later.
Trip 2.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, look at! Oh my gosh! Look at that reaction. He almost strained his neck.
I think that's the
Zach's
most
trying to
reaction
remain
than-
as neutral as possible here, just keeping a straight face.
Wow. You don't see a lot of emotion out of Mitch, so that
No.
was a bit of a shocker too.
Oh, about the start you'd expect in this match.
Yes.
So, if as a
Crowd's
top
buzzing.
seed, you've been a top seed here,
Mhm.
what's your thought process if you're Thomas Wolf? And you're watching 2 exempt PBA Tour players go toe-to-toe like this. Is there a strategy? Is there a, especially considering you must be defeated twice?
So you want to play to your own personal strengths, number one, right? You know, like, what do you prefer? Like, how do you like to, what lane do you like to finish on? You know, do you prefer finishing first, finishing second,
Oh, no.
left lane, right lane, that kind of thing? If I'm Thomas, I'm hoping that they both shoot lights out this game, because then next game, their scoring will
Sure.
transition will be different.
You always hear that. You're like, I hope the guy finishes the 300 in the match, because then he'll be
Yeah.
all amped up. And
I don't know. Unless you bowl the match that I had this week at the team trials where May
Oh, right.
shot 300, then proceeded to shoot 480 for the next two. Yeah, that didn't slow her down one bit.
Nope.
So, and
That's a
with
good point.
players of this caliber, that's not happening. You know,
nice
they're
shot.
seeing the transition even when they're throwing 5 in a row, 6 in a row. They're making their moves preemptively.
That's a valid point. For sure.
That one was a little bit more left to right on 18, and Zach got that one to come back.
Yeah.
So knowing you have that loss
Safety
in
game. Yeah.
in the bag, is that kind of a relaxer in a way?
In a way, yes. So, if we're on the same pair, personally, I always like to finish last. So I want the ball in my hand. I want to shoot the last 10th frame. So knowing that would be the second match. So the first match, I'll want to finish first.
Okay.
Just so that way, and if I win that match, bonus. If I don't, then I'm in my safety game.
Yep.
Where it's like, then it's like, okay, it's do or die. I want that ball. If it goes that far, I want the ball in my hand, that shot. But that's just the mental part of it.
Oh, my.
More for Wilkins.
You saw that ball read up a little bit
Yep.
early.
So do you make a move there when you see that?
Yes.
I would.
Depending on if
Depending
you
on
have
how
a
he
handful,
executes.
yep.
Yeah.
So front 5 for Zack Wilkins. If you're Mitch with that,
Well, tripping
Nine
that
miss up
4-9
there.
in that way.
Yeah.
The 4-pin went forward.
That's okay.
Shot from Mitch.
buckets.
Doesn't pick up. And
Makes
Zach
you wonder if you
seeing
hit
red.
that puddle, the wiggle, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
And Zach has, with the ball he's throwing and the steeper angles through the front, he's getting around that.
Should someone go get Mitch maybe an origin? From,
Well, let's see, Felicia. You know where it is. Maybe nobody else does.
All of them.
yikes.
It's an easy one to miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he
I-
takes the lane out of play there, too, just to be sure. And
I
it's-
always chop that. I always leave a
Always,
5
yep.
pin. Doesn't matter.
Shout
way
out to
I
Matt
throw it.
Smallin. I know you're watching. That's a big Matt Smallin spare that he hates. Big shout out to all 280 people that are currently watching. That is phenomenal. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. And again, we'll be live in 2 weeks from Why Not? Michupe frame 6.
That's pretty okay. That one definitely read in the right spot.
Yeah. No pun intended, but Zach's looking to put the hammer down right here with these 2 shots.
Great
When
play
you
on
say
words
no
there.
pun intended, though, you got to.
Nothing came to my head. Look at
He's
that.
just getting it off the spot
Yeah.
so nicely.
Dialed in right now with Zack Wilkins, front 6.
So you have had
Oh, God, here we go again.
Oh, yeah. You guys
Mike's
can
turned-
see
All
Mike's-
of those in the
right
Mike's
again.
here.
turned
He's-
around.
He's turned around, so he's about to say something good. What do you got?
so you have had that number shot on NDBowl before.
Yeah, and who was that against? Do you remember?
Oh, sorry. Yes,
This guy.
I did forget about that part. I just remember Scott had shot 800 that day on the pair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Oh,
Now, if you do recall that show, he
Yep.
shot 300, shot, like you said, 800, but then went on to lose to Clayton Moore in the final. So that's just what we were
Yes.
talking about.
Yep.
The big games, and eventually you run out of steam.
yeah. And that was a really tight match too, from what I can remember. And Clayton threw great shots in the second half of that game to win.
Question in the chat: who are the 4 in the booth? Joined by myself, Darren Cini, Mike Schmidt, John Domingo, and Felicia Wong are the 4 calling the action here today.
I mean, looks like Mitch definitely made an adjustment there. Maybe got around it a little
Yep.
more, get it quicker off the spot,
Yep.
and smashes a 9-pin.
Yeah. Definitely looked a lot better, but unfortunately,
Still
he's
not
3
quite.
shots behind.
And again, if I'm Thomas Wolfe, I want Zach to get them all.
Yep.
That one hooked up
That
early.
Right away.
That was left.
So unfortunately, that's probably going to mark the end of Mitch's tournament
How much will we
for $1,700 for third.
take?
That's a pretty okay payday.
That is.
Always
Especially
going
when you
for
get to
it.
stay at home. Oh!
What is that?
Oh.
Okay. That was unnecessary.
I mean, that's great for TV.
That
Yep.
point was to John over here.
Yeah. We have this floating theory about shooting Greek churches like that he goes for the 4-7, and I take the 3, and I think the 6 will bounce off the 9.
Blake
No.
made his by shooting the 3.
See?
Yeah.
It can happen, but I would say the physics would be more advantageous shooting for the 2.
She's throwing out physics.
What? I mean,
I understand what you're saying for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
Like,
it can happen
it,
to go for
yeah.
the 3, but probability-wise, you're more likely to get it if you're going for the 2.
the way I see it, if I'm going for the 3, I have a higher chance of getting 4 at least. Whereas if
That's
I go
correct.
for the 2, I have a higher chance of getting 1.
Correct.
So that's why I always go for the 3.
This is why bowling is fun.
How
Right there,
does
Biff.
the physics change, though?
Bowling is fun.
Well, you're gonna have to get that on the 3rd, right? Like, let's say you have the 8, 9, 10.
The geometry.
The 6, 9, 10. You have to figure out how to get that 9 pin.
Yeah.
Either you're sliding the
So,
6,
I think Zach just
and then the 9 pin stays.
Well, I think the 6 goes into the 9, bounces off it, and stays forward and takes out the
Woof, that is a big if.
2. Made it like
Those
that
angles
3
have to
times.
be like
3 times.
exact for people who didn't follow those sound effects.
So how about everyone in the chat? What would you do if you were shooting at a Greek church? What's your preferred way to pick it up?
And you have to make it.
Correct.
Let's say you have to make
I've made
And,
it.
and we're not talking about bouncing pins out of the back because, we're
Too
talking.
unknown. Yeah.
Right. We're talking just straight up.
Them
Pins.
sliding over.
Yep.
The funny thing is, though, is that 6 pin has to slide over in a unique way to take out
Oh.
the 4, right?
Okay.
I think Mitch knows this one's pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
Done
having
here, he's-
trouble shooting his left-hand spares in
And
the ladder.
Especially on 18 with
Yeah.
his footwork, so
Yeah.
maybe that's the problem.
if you know Mitch and he talks about his spare shooting stats, it's like
It's
top 10 on the
it's
tour.
disgusting. 1 year at team trials,
Yeah.
he made 100% of his single pins for all 5 blocks.
Yeah.
30 games, 100% of all makeables. I'm
All
sorry.
makeables.
All multi-pins as well.
It's insane.
Wow. That's why he's good.
I've never seen anything like that.
Stinks.
So Zach here's tried a different ball the last 2 shots.
Yeah,
Definitely something that looks a little longer, a little bit more angular.
I would agree. Yeah.
What's he throwing?
Looks like the one
remix or whatever.
The reverb.
Or reverb.
That's
Thank you.
it, Yes.
All right, that sets up our championship match. Zack Wilkins against Thomas Wolf. Thomas out of the Bismarck-Mandan area. Zack Wilkins, what is he, out of Toronto area?
Well, one of them's going to get their
Barrie?
first win here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is from Ontario, resides in the U.S. now that he's a touring.
Isn't he from Barrie?
Barry, yeah.
Yeah.
Felicia, I just said that.
I'm sorry. You were so quiet. That soft little Barrie.
Oh, we better turn up the mic for.
Maybe now you can hear me a little better.
All
I
right.
didn't say
Your dulcet tones.
I said it pretty quietly because I wasn't sure. I was like, Barry?
Oh, so you just let me hanging? Oh yeah, he's from Barrie.
Thank you, Matt Smullen, for adding to my case.
What's this?
Doug Kent went for the 6-9-10, 6 into the 7, into the wall, and spun into the 4. So
Oh, see, but then we take into account the wall, right? And
Yep.
and that was Darren's point. Like, are we taking into account the backdrop?
Oh my,
yeah,
fine.
if no other physics were involved, what would be the best way to shoot it? Just sliding pins around. We're not talking out of the back. We're not,
Not bouncing off the sideboards.
I have one advantage throwing it hard and discounting it with this no off the wall stuff.
Okay, so I've spared the 4, 7, 8, 10. Obviously, I went for the 3. Okay, and then I split the 7, 8, shot the 8 into the 10, but it would not have gotten the 6.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
what? So my question is, if you have the 4, 7, 8, 6, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, right? What pin is hitting the 6 pin?
Jeez, these guys are making it difficult here. They just
You-
not giving me. can never get a
We'll
W.
give
need
you
a
a
whiteboard
chance.
here.
We'll give you a chance to think about that one while we thank our sponsors here at the Chateau Lanes Manitoba Open for helping raise over $10,000 in added money here this week, which brought our total prize fund to just shy of $25,000. Again, you can follow NDBowlTV on social media. Follow us on Instagram, like our Facebook page, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Like to head on over to zellogear.com. You can save 10% on all orders using promo code NDBowlTV10. And a big shout out to Storm, the official bowling ball sponsor of the High Plains Bowling Network. And you're watching final round coverage of the Manitoba Open here at Chateau Lanes in Winnipeg. Championship match, Zack Wilkins against Thomas Wolf. One player will take home their first NDBowling.com major title.
So is
Here in
that two
Manitoba.
different Venom shocks that Thomas is trying
So-
right now?
Thomas has a variety of Venom shocks, but he's got one with the Venom shock letters on there, and that signifies the older batches of them.
Okay.
And this is a ball that he takes to every Open championships, and then tournaments like this. Otherwise, it doesn't see the lane.
Interesting.
It's one of those, he brings it out for times like this, and I would know because I faced him in match plays all year, and he's ran me over with that ball.
Because you faced him in the Masters.
In
a
the
couple
Masters
times
2 years in a row, and then I lost to him in Williston this year as well. So Thomas has lane choice here. Again, he must be defeated twice. Before we get started here, what's our bold prediction? Felicia, what do you got?
I'm liking Zach's reaction. I'm going to go with Zach on this one.
Thomas has been sitting for probably a good 2 hours now, 2.5 hours, aside from some shots down on the practice pair. John?
I'm going to go with Thomas. There's something about it today, hopefully being his day. He looks really calm. He's made good shots all day. I believe he's been in the top 3 the whole day.
I think so.
If not the leader for
Not
most
the
of
leader
the day,
of the day, yeah.
Hey, Mike, what do you think?
I'm calling Wolfie.
Okay.
100%. I agree with John. There's something special in the air today for him, and I think it's long overdue that he earns his first ND Bowl major title. So
And as a North Dakota bowler myself, and I grew up bowling with Thomas, he's the pick for me. But I've also watched so many tournaments on NDBowlTV and called so many tournaments that Zach has been so close in.
right,
So I think whoever wins this is very deserving of the title.
totally agree.
And Thomas is going to kick us off on lane 17.
With, shocker, a Venom shock.
That looks pretty good.
Great shot.
I don't expect to see much emotion out of Thomas until later on.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I
going to be pedestrian. It's going to be all business.
Pedestrian, I'm liking that. Good choice of word there.
I think if Zach does want to amp it up, though, he can get the
Yeah.
crowd into it.
Yeah.
They'll pull for him.
He is the last
So-
Canadian hope at the moment.
Speaking of, we do have quite the crowd here still watching.
Mhm.
Looks in, never picks up. Like it's to that point with the urethane puddle down lane. If you
Laboring a little.
don't get it to the friction,
Yeah. If he gets that 2 boards right, he's slapping the 10 out
Yep.
for sure. No problem. And in the previous match, he was getting it almost to 5 board, even further right. So, but it does look like they're both kind of playing in a similar area.
right?
All right, good spare for Zach there.
A lot of cheering in the chat for Thomas. Chase leans with Felicia and says, "Let's go, Zach."
So nice mix in the chat room. I do like that. I do expect a lot of Thomas fans considering
Yep.
NDBowlTV.
And something is Blake and Taylor still here?
I'm sure they are.
Because
They're probably
that's like having
partaking in some libations.
maybe.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that one picked up right.
Wow.
But I know when Blake's watching Thomas and helping him out, it's like Scheffler and Ted Scott. It's having the best caddy guy watching you, helping you out, giving you an extra set of eyes.
It's just so important in this game.
Yeah.
It's really hard to see all. There's too many moving pieces.
Yeah.
All right. Big shot here for Thomas.
First shot
That's
on
what
18.
right. That's it.
He didn't
Great
switch,
9.
He didn't switch shocks, right? That's the same one as the left lane.
I did not notice.
Okay. We'll have to keep an eye out.
It definitely didn't look as good off of his hand as what I've seen from him today. He knows it. Wasn't his best.
Does Thomas talk about the difference in the batches with the Venom shocks? Because I noticed that a couple of years ago when I got my first piece from them, and I was like, "Where's the shock?"
Yeah.
Yep. Like they took the
Like
wording off, and there's some sort of significance there. I'm not
And they don't
Sure.
look the same either.
right. They're one's a little lighter, one's
Yeah.
darker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he is using the same shock on both lanes.
Okay.
Yeah, and Matt Smolin does confirm that was his special Venom shock.
Was not his special
Oh,
Venom.
not his special Venom shock. Okay. All right,
Matt's
Wolf,
seeing
frame
it
3.
now.
Wow, that's a great shot.
Beautiful.
I would argue that Matt Smolin is the Jonathan Domingo of the States as far as Rolodex and information is
he's-
concerned. He will. You can ask him, like you said, who was on Team USA in 2004. He would probably rattle off quite a few names. He knows
I'll even
That's
give
probably a
Matt
Bill Hoffman year.
I'll even give Matt a little bit of an edge because he
Yeah.
can also imitate a bowler's style.
And then beat them at it
And then, yeah,
because he's done that to me. Yes.
we're like, oh, so what pro does this look like? And he'll do an approach, and I'm like, oh, that's that person.
100%.
He's got to take that to TikTok.
Get there. There you go.
Shot
Got
from
that
Zach.
one wide enough. Got
Yep.
that one around that
Yep.
urethane puddle. That's a key point to lane 18.
Yep.
And to note, like, I think these guys all took notes from Austin last year because they are not as far left as they've gotten in previous years, like where they really lean into it, don't get it much outside of 10. They're still
But even during
Shaping
qualifying
it.
and stuff, like Friday night, I didn't get further left than like third arrow,
no.
Which is
which is
crazy.
odd. Yeah.
That is crazy.
So the pattern really held up, especially down lane. But you just had to get around that hill down lane the right way.
Do we
and
know
these
what
guys
type
are
of
doing.
oil they use here?
Thought it was current oil. The last
He.
that was years ago though that I asked Melody that.
Might have to ask her.
I think that was a little in, and he knows it. I know they went to fire for a while. They went to ice for a while.
There's terrain. There's so
Yeah.
many different oils.
I
There's
know
fire and ice.
with the
The
with
two tank. Yeah.
The two tanks.
with the pandemic, there were certain oils you couldn't get for a while. So
That's
I don't know
right.
what they wound up finishing with. So
All right, Wolf, frame 4, working on a strike.
way better
That's
shot.
Looks good.
Really great shot.
There
off
you
his
go.
hand. Yeah.
I'll give a reaction for Thomas. I'll clap for him.
Nobody
He
else
wants
is
to be
clapping in this
so
building.
stoic.
So it's been so long since he's been here. I think only a handful of us know who he is.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, he said it's been like 5 years since he's been up here. And I believe he was on the
Pre-COVID?
show the last time we were here.
I think so too.
How is he not on a show all the time? You know, like he's that good of a
And to
player.
think he hasn't won the major title yet, it's shocking, honestly.
Yeah.
You've blown my mind about 6 times with that statement.
He's made the show a bunch in the Classic. He's made the show in Minot. He's
All
made
of them, you know.
Here,
He's made the K-Fire show, right? That's his home center.
come on.
Oh,
So
Wow.
a 17 hooks a whole bunch more because he's a good 5 to 7 boards left with his feet on 17.
Yep.
And that one still went nose.
The year that I ran the ladder and we were going back and forth here, lane 17, I was using a pearl symmetrical, a viral, playing through about 5th arrow, sliding left of the seam, and on the right lane I was using a stronger solid, playing about between 3rd and 4th arrow. That's how much difference there can be
Lane
on
one.
this pair. Now we didn't redress that year, so this
Sure,
year
yeah.
here,
after
we're seeing
like
the
12
redress.
games of match play.
Right. So this is like what 5 matches in now. So now you're starting to see that how the topography difference really is on this pair, and it's a challenge.
All right, Wilkins now frame 5. Working on 3 in a row.
Just got to get there.
God.
10 pin
Yep.
again. Yeah, you saw it right off his hand.
Yeah. Just didn't have the same angle through the front to the right.
Got to get right of like 5
Yeah.
down lane for
Yeah.
it to really get that roll to get the corner out.
Yeah. And that was the frustrating thing this weekend because you think it's so good. You think, oh, yeah, I'll just kind of slap it out. And
Hey, I heard a couple yells on Friday night coming from your direction.
Yeah.
Who, me?
It may have been who you're bowling with.
think
Yeah,
there might have
that's
been
what
a-
I'm thinking.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Anytime you don't want to get blamed for something, yell around Mike, and he'll take the heat.
If I was tournament director, I would have fined Mike twice on Friday night. Just me, though.
You know, is that in the
I thought it
rules?
was actually pretty good.
I hold you to a higher standard.
Okay, well, let's put it this way. Maybe I had a little bit more fire in me this weekend, and I actually made the cut. I had no fire today,
Okay.
and I didn't
You're calling?
do as well.
Are you calling age on that one?
I'm calling, yeah. That's pretty okay.
That's pretty okay. Indeed.
Yeah, he's comfortable on 17, and fortunate for Zach, he gets to finish over there as well.
So it is interesting because, like, Thomas probably has a better look on 17, which would be where he would finish if it goes a second match.
Is that what they do? They just
They just go.
continue?
They just
Yeah.
keep going.
No.
Oh, and that stubborn 10 pin on 18. Kind of the story of the match.
What's funny is to shoot the spare, he switches from Venom Shock to Venom Shock.
I was just going to say.
Or does he
So
just not want to wait?
I just think, yeah, because he doesn't like to think about it.
Okay.
Thomas is trust muscle memory, do your thing.
I thought maybe he was going to try and get a different look or something like that. No.
On a 10 pin?
Yeah, what are you thinking there?
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to say, come on, Mike, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. He's like, oh, well, Zach's got a lead. Let me just test my look out for later.
Yeah, in frame 6.
In frame 6, 10-pin match.
And if you're just joining us, it's our championship match. Game number 1, Thomas Wolf against Zack Wilkins. Thomas must be defeated twice.
Why do you think that's not more common in the States where the leader has to be beaten twice?
Great
Not
shot.
sure. Not sure on that one because this is the only tournament that we regularly bowl in the region that's that way.
In Canada, it's that way quite often.
Is it?
And, it's just, you took the trouble to lead the tournament, and giving be beaten twice is a nice
Right.
bonus for that.
It gives you that advantage of running away. There's so
Yeah.
many times you get the bowler that runs away and then doesn't get the chance to get comfortable on the set, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Current oil is what they're using, is what I see.
Yeah, but it says current oil kegel. But which kind?
Is it? I believe it's.
That's quite a high viscosity oil. It's a 52 viscosity. Terrain is the only one higher than that at 81, I believe.
The best is how I read that, and I was like, oh, yeah, they're currently using this oil.
They're currently using current.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There we go.
See?
It cleared that up.
Me and Mikey must be doubles partners because we're just two big dum-dums.
Now that actually makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
but it's interesting because the front's
About
hooked
us
so
being
early.
dum-dums?
Oh goodness!
Okay, go start.
Sorry, I
I'm
just
trying to be
wanted
all
clarify.
like.
Physics, and now you're getting technical with oil.
Jeez.
All right.
Okay, no, go ahead, because I actually am interested.
No, I was gonna say that at Chateau because the front's hooked so early.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Oh, 9 pin. It started
Little
up
quick
just
off
a
the
hair
spot.
early.
Yeah. Just that little bit.
Yeah, with the viscosity of the oil, it actually wants to slow the ball down more.
Okay.
Right? It's like if you picture honey, right?
Right.
And you're like going through a substance like honey versus water.
Yep.
It'll want to slow that ball down more and then make it lazier in the back end.
Whoa.
I would like to shout out everyone tuning in for the first time in NDBowlTV history. We have hit 300 viewers at once. It's pretty awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in today.
Such a fitting number for
It
our
is a great
sport,
number.
isn't it?
All right, opportunity for Wolf.
We would
You're
like
working
more,
on a
maybe
strike.
800.
That would
Yeah.
be great.
I mean, we are motivated. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done
Come
that
on,
one.
John.
Just
My goodness.
Thomas was up. I had to go
Lucky
for
you're
it.
over there.
Yeah,
Would-
I know. Sorry.
Turn
no,
around
Jonathan,
next
please go-
time.
Please keep going. I appreciate those.
Yes. All right. Opportunity for Wolf.
That's got to carry.
Nice
beauty.
shot.
Great shot. He fired that off his
That's
hand.
pretty big.
That's a big shot. Now this foundation frame.
Not a stoic. He had little fists made there.
And this is now 1 pin.
With this shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge shot here. And as we saw back at the Masters back in October, he stepped up needing a double in the 10th to win that tournament and a spot at the USBC Masters in Detroit to win his second Masters title, and got it done. Shot right here, as important. I like it.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
What a shot.
Clutch
What a
in the moment. Sets himself up for a 10th frame. Now let's just see what he's going to have to do.
Basically, everything's still in Zach's control,
Yeah,
though.
Zach can strike out to shut him out by 1.
Yeah.
Correct?
Absolutely. Whew. Anybody else getting nervous? My
I mean,
palms are a little sweaty.
you did ask for a tie there, Mike. Maybe this is.
Oh my.
I said that in the last match.
I know.
There was no bet on that.
All right, Wilkins, frame 9.
Definitely got it right that time.
Yep, got the 10 out as
I
long
knew
as he
that
gets
one.
to the friction.
So do you
So-
say he knew that off his hands?
I knew it off his hands,
Do
personally. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Off his hands.
little slow there, Mike.
Yeah, a little.
A little old. Okay, guys. Sorry.
That one,
you know.
yeah, when you started bowling,
Plus
they
you were
didn't have
further-
two-handers.
You're further down over there, right? So it takes a little bit longer to get here. What?
Anyways, Wilkins, frame 10, 3 strikes to force a game 2. It's pretty good.
Gotta carry.
It's early. Oh, trips
dang.
the 4-9.
Sorry for yelling into the
Wow.
mic, people. That was a huge hit.
Went
We had to yell
from
into the mic.
Yeah.
We had to keep
potential
going that boom, fire.
Oh my.
potential open to the shot that could win him the match. Again, he must defeat Thomas twice, so must win this one to force a game 2.
You can only control so much in this sport.
Right?
So he went smash 9-pin and then that. His last 2 shots on this lane.
Do you make a move here?
Yes.
I don't. I think he would have on the first one.
Yeah.
It may not have been big enough, so I think you got to make another one here. Looks like it.
Left. Looks left. Shaker 7. That's a Chateau hit there.
Yeah. So
So Thomas will have a chance here.
I think he made the move, but he didn't get it far enough right.
I would agree.
Because now,
Yeah.
just like with a pivot, right? The more left you go, the more you got to make sure you get it to the right.
Steeper through the front.
Steeper through
Yeah.
the front.
So here we go. What's the situation here there, fellas?
Maybe double in one.
Double and 1.
All right. Well, I made the spare.
That's a big spare. Cause
Yeah.
Well, this is what you want as a bowler. Stand up in the 10th, ball in hand, 2 strikes and count.
Pressure is a privilege, right?
Yep. To win your first NDBowling.com major title here at the Manitoba Open in Winnipeg.
Anybody
First,
else have goosebumps right now?
gotta have the first one.
My hands are like sweating.
Oh, that's in.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Doesn't get the 10 out. Didn't like it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go to a game 2. And as you said, they just go straight the same.
That's
Yeah.
what they've done before. Because I think when it stays on the pair, they just go, right? We're getting confirmation.
Okay.
Thomas is not trying anything else. He's sticking with his look. I like his look.
Right. So do I.
Yeah. Because he still used the other shock to shoot the spare, and he's picking up the first one. gets it a little bit more right.
Again,
the
it's all
shapes around
about
the lane.
getting
Also
to
looked
that
like
spot
it was a
down
bit
lane.
slower, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Get some time.
Just get it to that spot on 18 to get the 10 out.
Mhm.
So we're going to go on to a winner-take-all match.
Okay, so
Okay.
we're just deciding who starts the match and whether leader still gets to choose which lane they
Yeah.
want to start.
Okay, discussion happened.
Okay, what do you got?
Confirmation is, since Thomas is the higher seed, he will still have the choice again.
What do you choose?
The
Sorry?
same.
Did you
He
hear?
chose the
He
same.
chose the
Chose
thing,
the
yeah.
same. Yeah.
So he's going to finish on lane 18.
He's going to finish on lane 18 again.
Ball in hand, baby.
I just know, like, at World Cups, World Cup Nationals, which, Felicia, you've been to numerous as well, in the finals,
Yeah. It just keeps rolling through.
it just keeps rolling through. So that's where, as the top seed, you have to think about that
yeah.
because you don't move pairs.
Yep.
It's part of the strategery. Strategery?
Strategery. That's
Strategery.
Will Ferrell.
Strategy. You just say strategy.
So then, as fellow bowlers, do you prefer to have ball in hand to finish last, or do you want to finish first?
I think it depends on what my look looks like on which pair, on which
Finish.
lane.
Finishing
Also.
first.
I don't care. I want it last all the time.
Finishing first.
I don't care if it's the bad lane. I want it.
Yeah.
See, that's it's either the person likes the strategy,
Yeah.
or they just want ball in hand.
Yeah.
I'll finish first. I mean, these two guys beside us are winners, so
But
I'll
You know,
finish
like-
first.
with Thomas there,
Early.
having that last shot, having that opportunity, I was envious because that's
Yeah.
the position I want to be in.
Yeah.
Which most, well, not everybody, but most people do. If you like Michael Jordan wanted the shot with 2 seconds left, right? Give me the ball.
It adds to the glory. I don't doubt it. Adds to the
Yeah,
pressure.
the showmanship too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely the pressure. Absolutely.
What Mike's not saying is that if he had ball in hand last in the 10th frame, it would take 35 minutes to finish.
Plus re-racks.
Plus re-racks.
I do want to mention that in all the Manitoba shows that I've done, the one that lasted an hour and a half longer than all the rest was the one
See?
where Mike Schmidt ran the ladder.
The
So
full 5 matches.
statistics do show.
Stats prove it. Lynn Gauthier belongs to the slowest team in the city because she bowls with Mike Schmidt.
It's a good shot from Zach.
All right,
She
so
likes to be fast.
And Ashley Van Overen.
all right, in the chat we have a question. Yes, Mike Schmidt is in the booth with us. I'm Darren Sini alongside Mike, John Domingo, and Felicia Wong.
Mike, you got to give a shout out to Art Oliver Jr. here.
Artie.
Yes, this is
How's
the
it going,
championship
buddy?
match, Art. We are in game 2.
Is the donate button active?
Yes, we do have a donate button on NDBowling.com if anyone is interested in supporting the cause here.
Artie, have you been to the Hofbrau house lately?
Another good shot.
And he went on that 17's on fire.
So
It
that's
is
after
blowing
the
up big
4-9
time.
trip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the blower 9 to start, then the 4-9.
So
Now,
he went light in that shot in the 12th.
In the 12th because he didn't get it far
Right,
enough
right,
to the
right.
right. So he made the move, but just didn't project it properly.
And the bowler I talked to earlier who said as you get too far left, it just gets even rougher for you to make shots, right? So with
On this
Thomas,
pattern.
yeah, with Thomas being to the right, it does help him. So it is a matter of carrying how much Zach breaks it down to the left for him.
and again, this is the winner-take-all match, as Zach did defeat Thomas in game number 1. So the winner of this match will take home the title and $3,500. Wolf, frame 2.
It's got to get up the hill. Yeah.
Any 5-7s.
And that's the demoralizing hit right there.
Yeah.
He moved left.
I think he missed right.
I think he missed it at the bottom.
He looked fast. So then
Wow.
he got
Look
So
at
we
that.
all
Okay.
say something
All right.
different. We're terrible
No,
here.
it's same result, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same result.
Yeah.
And that's why bowling is tricky.
We threw out 4
Artie,
possible.
I'm so glad that you remembered that, buddy. Guillaume shows the picture.
Is he going to spare it?
Alex,
Hook.
Oh.
All right, what do you do if you're Thomas here?
take a minute, regroup.
Yep.
Take
See,
a minute and
that's the same.
regroup here.
Because it's easy to think
Yeah,
the way Zach
Sure.
has his look, that it's over.
yeah. And he can't do that. And he's been in this situation too many times where he knows. And look, he's taking time.
Right.
He's doing the right thing. He's saying,
I think he's got to make a move too,
yeah,
Just
and
did he
commit
change?
to
He
it.
changed Venom Shocks.
he's changing. But he's thinking 10 more shots, so let's get this first one.
Yep.
And then we'll go from there.
Also, sometimes when you make that little adjustment, it makes you execute that much more.
That's right. Trips
Oh,
to.
there he goes.
Oh, that's your
That's
And
the
that's
break
friendly.
you need, though.
Might loosen him up a little bit
That's
too.
the break you need. See, and I wonder if, like, the way that last match ended weighs on him a little bit going into this one. You know, you had the
Sure.
opportunity, you had
Yep.
ball in hand,
He
Yep.
threw such
And now
great crisp shots in the 8th and
and
9th.
now you got to gear up for another one, you know?
Letdown. Yeah.
But you know that going in,
Right.
right? As a leader, you understand. Okay, yeah, well, just give me another opportunity in the 10th to.
That was left. That was in that
Yep.
washy zone, yep.
I mean, the look's not getting any better for either of them.
Correct. So, like, he's not out of it by any means.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is a 2-shot match. But
Well, Zach's max 59 in the third, and Thomas's max 46 in the third, so.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to have 2 opens, that's a good spot for it.
yep. And who called the switching Venom Shock going 10 back 10?
Oh, I just said he switched
Yeah.
Venom Shocks. I didn't call it going
Yeah.
back.
I
10,
just
but
said
I'll
he's-
take that.
He's thinking about, I have 10 more shots. Let's
Oh,
start
okay,
the first
okay.
one.
Okay. Well, we'll see if that comes to fruition.
Tag team effort.
Mikey's jumbling thoughts in his head.
Okay, Zach with a bold ball change here.
Did he really?
Yes. He's throwing that one reverb.
Okay, this is the
He
one
did
that's
not
on
like
fire.
his look on lane on the left lane.
And another 9-pin.
Wow. That I like
Oh.
that ball motion better.
I see it as being stronger earlier and more.
Interesting.
Like, if he moves left with it, I don't hate it. But he almost stayed on the exact same
But
spot.
that was the first,
Yeah.
first shot at it. Give it a read.
Yeah.
It's really, too, is he just changing on just that lane?
Mm.
After the 10 pin on the right lane, I don't know.
If anything, I would reverse. If he's going to throw 2 balls in 2 different lanes, I would throw it the opposite way.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean?
Like, the ball that he switched to on 17, I would throw that on 18.
on 18, okay.
And keep the one he was throwing on 17. From before.
Gotcha.
That looked really good off his hand.
See,
Oh, he carries the 4, 5, 7.
that's left, and he just gets it to roll just a little earlier, and it's all the
That looked A
difference.
little softer, right?
Yeah.
And that hit on 17 in the third frame, I think, is going to be huge the rest of this game.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes
Ooh.
back with two
Matt Smolin loving the booth.
close shots, and he's dialing it back in, right? He wasn't too far off. I mean, I know he got a break on 17, but he's going to dial it back in again and get this one flush.
Yeah, nice way to regroup there.
I think if he gets this, he's going to run it out into the camera over there.
Oh, I
Highly doubt it.
Typical Thomas.
It's okay.
I like it.
Push.
oh,
Touch it.
oh,
Oh.
he stepped that out too.
Yep.
Yeah, that left lane.
But
That was so good off his hand.
he just wanted to hold an extra foot.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But good 9. He's back in the match. He's
Yep.
1 shot back now.
With the
Obviously,
spare.
you roll a 2 pin, you're going to make the adjustments, right? So it's not a bad shot.
Again, this is our championship match, so winner will take home $3,500 and the Manitoba Open title. Neither bowler has won here,
So you see what ball that Zach picked up on the right lane there? It's the one reverb. You
so
said?
he's changing on both.
Both lanes.
And this is that lane. You got to get it out to that friction spot, or else it just labors in soft tens, even with the rev rate he's got.
This is a little bit bigger ball, so we'll see what happens.
That's right. That's in the spot. Yep.
That worked. That looked pretty good.
Flush.
You mentioned 3,500 for first, 2,500 for second. Both first and second place prize was guaranteed by Chateau lanes this year. So they actually upped that from last year, where I think they guaranteed 3 and 2. So they were able to bump that up even more. So
Very nice. Shout out to them.
absolutely, they've done a fantastic job with this tournament over, what is it, 43 years for the Manitoba Open.
For those of you watching, come bowl next year.
Come on out.
Please do.
Great event.
And if you want to bowl something soon, go to Minot in 2 weeks. Spots are still available there. All the info on NDBowling.com. Wilkins, frame 6.
So he went lefter there. Oh, so that looked better through the pins once he went
Ace
lefter.
is it,
for
yeah.
sure.
Lefter?
Lefter, and he doesn't get as far righter either. So he goes left, keeps it left, and it goes through the pins
See,
I'm
proper.
liking this strategery.
He understands.
I
He understands. That's why we're doubles partners. He
I
understands my language.
speak Schmidt.
Someone has to translate for us.
Yeah.
And for all of those viewers watching.
All 300 of them.
Yes. Currently 321. I love it.
Wow.
Come on,
Appreciate
Thomas.
everyone who's tuned in today. Thomas Wolf needing a strike.
Roll
I like
up.
it.
Oh my.
Takes the
Right.
10. I wasn't
See?
sure about the 10
Yeah,
there.
And he
like
gets the
that.
10
It's a
out, so you
little-
know that's the right ball too, right? If
Yep.
it's taking that 10 out like that, you're
Yep.
in the right area, in the right ball.
Yeah.
Now on this lane where he's gone highlight, I almost think he could go back to the other one because he flushed it on it in the, or Zach moved it around too much. You think?
Or so he went 2 pin, roll 2 pin, go smash 9. Do you think he squared up a bit when he left the 9 pin?
Perhaps.
If so, go right in between.
Yep.
If you did a 2-1 right or 2-2 right, just go 1-1 back.
So this is a telling shot here.
Or you throw it a little faster where you don't get around
That's
it.
left.
Oh,
Oh, that's going to.
Yep. He knew it off his hand. That was way left.
I think
see, you brought up a good point there about changing ball speeds.
Yeah.
I'm a kind of player that I can't do that very consistently. You know, like I can do it, but I'm not from shot to
Yeah.
shot. No, for me, it's the parallel moves.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But you're saying that would be a move that you would do.
You could, or it depends on what your feel is. You could like
True.
change your rotation a little bit.
True.
Please get it.
Oh.
Keep it interesting. Let's
not done yet. He says.
He's going to need help.
It's gonna need
No hope.
Zach's got an opportunity here to slam the door shut these next 2 frames. Working on a double.
If he doubles here, he pretty much has the title.
He's got ball in hands.
All in hands.
Plural.
I caught it this time.
You're quicker now.
Second time's a charm.
All right, working on a double.
Got it there.
To the friction, yeah.
Beauty.
Dialed
Good
in.
shot.
And to be like, we've been talking about Thomas's reactions, what he's got to do to regroup, but Zach's just been cruising. Makes a ball change that we don't even see and
Yeah.
flushes the next 3.
That's
I mean,
a valid
that's-
point. Yeah.
That's exactly why he's 8th
Yeah.
on tour last year.
One different shoe on.
Yeah, shoes.
Different heights.
There's one shoe going to Sioux Falls at the moment, one
Yep.
shoe right here at Chateau Lanes.
Yep.
And that shoe is Joe Franczewski's
It's Joe Franczewski's.
2014 Manitoba Open runner-up.
Not only did Joe house him for the week, he gives him the shoe off his foot.
All
It's
right.
got a hook.
And doesn't take the 10. There were like 3 messengers going that way, but it doesn't.
So that one didn't quite get far enough to the right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane here on
Yeah.
that lane
Yes.
that it,
yeah.
it didn't get there.
But he did make the move. He
Yep.
made the proper move to get it through the front really well.
Well, and that's just
But
how
it's just,
it can show you how tight it is down lane
Yeah.
there. You
Yes.
have to.
and having the urethane for the first 2 matches didn't
Yes.
really help with that cause.
Like
But yeah, if he gets it 2 boards further right, he's fine.
like if you're on a house shot, you leak it left, it's gonna hold, hit flush,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
that's just not gonna happen here.
So the situation's simple. Zach's got 247 left. Thomas has 225 left, or is that 215 left? Yeah, he's at 215. So must strike situation here for Thomas, and he's going to need a little bit of help. Gotta have it.
It's got a hook. Ooh.
It did.
Oh, gosh.
And too much.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I think he knows the
So
inevitable here.
right now with conversion, Thomas goes and strikes out. He goes 204. And Zach can go strike.
Well, he marks
9.
out for 2.
Yeah, and he's 270.
Yep.
So Zach at this point doesn't even need to double.
Like,
Right.
unless he goes like.
Oh, here we go. Turned around.
Yeah,
What were you going to say?
Turn around Schmidt over here.
If you want to talk about dedication to this tournament, Melody's just listening to it on her phone, pressed to her ear to make sure we're behaving.
I was
Yeah.
wondering if someone should
And
get us some
staring at us,
headphones
too.
here.
Yeah. Somebody lend her an AirPod or two. An AirPod.
Or turn up the
That's a
the volume on her phone.
goodness.
Hold on, let's cut to the other camera. You can see her over there. Yep.
Yep.
Listening to our show. Right next to the Pepsi bottle there.
No one works harder than Melody.
No.
Shout out to Melody. Appreciate everything she does for this tournament.
Melody, her whole staff,
Yeah.
whole staff at Chateau, they're always fantastic every week, but also especially on this weekend for this tournament.
If I recall correctly, pretty much as this tournament finishes, she goes on vacation for a bit too. So
Tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning is her flight.
Well deserved.
well deserved.
So 193 possible for Thomas. It's just keep it on the lane for Zach, and then hopefully we can get a word with the winner. Unfortunately, we only have 4 mics, so I'm going to have to kick out one of you. Who draws the short straw here?
I'll go. It's got a hook.
And that'll do it.
Oh.
So a long time coming, but Zack Wilkins will take home the 2025 Manitoba Open in his first NDBowling.com major title. So congratulations to Zach.
Where's his sheet? Because there was that little bit of foreshadowing there. Right?
Yes, he finished 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and now 1st. He's completed
The
finishing-
cycle?
Yeah, what would you call that?
Stepladder cycle?
Stepladder round.
Yeah, he's finished in
Yeah.
every position of the step ladder. But now that there's 8 spots, he's got work to do.
I'm gonna turn.
He does.
He's going to have to come back.
I'm gonna
have-
turn around because Zach still needs just 4 pins on the next 2 balls, but
I appreciate
he's
you
got it.
turning
I did
around
turn
for
around.
that.
I didn't want to cloud him. Okay, there we go.
I do want to
Unless
give
it dove through the middle and then got that 4 count for you.
I do want to give a quick shout out to my boy Thomas Wolf. That guy
Yeah.
is going to get his time someday, and I hope it's on NDBowlTV.
Yeah.
Keep trying there, my friend, and it'll happen soon.
Well said, because he's a class act.
Yeah. It-
Every bowler, like, anytime you have a chance to talk with him or even cross with him for the day, you know you're in for a great day.
Yep.
So
Great guy. He deserves it, and
He really does.
look forward to him in the next 3 NDBowling.com major events because I expect to see him
He's way too
in a show or
talented.
two.
So,
Yep. Zack Wilkins is your winner. Let's update our bracket while we have a moment,
Such
and then
great shots there from Thomas.
hopefully we can get a word with Zach here momentarily.
Finally was. What's he attempted like 4 times? I've been here. I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah, what a dingus.
Yeah.
First time
Just
said on
kidding,
NDBowlTV. Dingus is the
Yeah.
first time we've heard that one here.
He's like, I'm 1
I
for
love
4. Domingo, what are you? 0 for 22.
All right, Zack Wilkins is your champion, and we will have a word with him shortly. I don't know if Melody's going to go first, or are we going to get Zach first?
We don't know. She's not listening to her phone.
Yeah, she turned off the stream.
She trusts us.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to step out and let you guys take care of it. Thank you again for having me. Pleasure as always. Thank you, Darren,
John.
for all you do. And
Appreciate
thank
it.
you, Chateau Lanes, for this wonderful weekend. It was a pleasure.
Very nice. Thanks,
Even more
John.
than that, the viewers want to thank you for all those bowling puns. All those puns in general.
You hammered them home. Let's just put it that way. A storm of puns, I guess I should say.
Okay. They're going to do the.
All right, so they're going to get Zach first, and then we will get a chance to talk to him and wrap things up here. You want? We'll just Okay, we'll talk to Thomas first. Let's do that. Now, I'm not sure if our booth cam will be synced up with the audio, so if it's not, I do apologize. But let's get a quick word with this guy here. Thomas Wolf.
What's up, buddy?
I know this probably isn't the conversation you wanted
That's
to
okay.
have with me, but great work on the tournament this weekend. You kind of led most of the day through match play.
Mm-hmm.
What was your strategy going into that final?
Strike.
Yeah.
Honestly, I knew, obviously, Mitch and Zach, they're pros. I mean, they're not going to give you any kind of break. If they do give you a split somewhere, you got to capitalize on it. Unfortunately, he didn't really give me much other than single pins. So I thought I made the split right away to start off the second game. That would have helped.
Yep.
The 5-7, that was fun.
Yep.
And then obviously the 4-7-9 was just kind of like icing on the cake at that point. Like,
Yep.
knew I had to make it to have myself to have a chance, and obviously those 3 9 pins in the middle there kind of suck, but
So let's
bowling. So
go back to that first game in the 10th frame. What happened with the shot there in the 10th?
a little up the back.
It seemed like you didn't like it right off.
No, I didn't. It was a little up the back. I knew it right away that it was going to need some help. Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of playing with hand positions a little bit to get more tilt, to kind of get away from that. But being up the back on this keeps me in play. So I knew, I had to have the first 2 to lock it up. And as soon as I threw that first one, I knew it was dead, and we were going to another match. So
Right. Mike, Felicia, any questions for Thomas?
Why, if you had a choice for the second match, why not flip the order?
honestly, I like starting the match and seeing what I need at the end.
Yeah.
And 18, I felt like I had a little bit more room than I did on 17, so I wanted to finish there.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's just kind of what I like to do. I like to start it and put pressure on somebody. So,
Because we had 4 different ideas of what people would
Yeah.
do in the booth, right? So
Sure.
we just wanted to know what,
Your perspective.
because you and I are on the same page. I want that ball in hand. I want to throw the 10th frame.
yeah, and Darren knows me pretty well. I mean, the couple tournaments that I've won at the Minot Masters, I've had the ball in my hand to make it. So,
Yeah, double to win in the 10th. You did it
Yep.
both times, and we were
So-
talking about that.
so 2 for 3, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I guess my question would be in that 10th frame, in that last game there, especially, those shots looked so loose off your hand and that ball motion looked ridiculous.
No.
Did you do anything different?
I'm already dead at that point, so it didn't really matter. Just kind of getting out of the way.
Freeze up the arm swing when it's like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, honestly, the first one I fully expected to leave another 9 pin. So, I mean, if I could throw like that all the time, I'd be really tough. But unfortunately, I'm
We
just
all.
not that good. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, it is what it is. Zach's a great guy and obviously a PBA pro. So, I mean, losing to him is no big deal.
Right.
So I'm just happy I had a chance to lead and be there at the end. So, it's what it is.
Great tournament. Congratulations once again. And like I said, while you were finishing up the 10th there, the time's going to come, and when it does, I hope it's on NDBowlTV. So
Me too.
Yeah.
nice work, my
Thanks,
friend.
buddy. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
All right, Thomas Wolf finishing second, $2,500. And they're going to give away a trophy really quick, and then we're going to speak with Zach. And another quick shout out to Melody Savage, as you see there on your screen. And she's going to present the trophy and $3,500 to Zack Wilkins, the winner here today.
I'd like to acknowledge our volunteers this weekend. Manitoba has some of the best volunteers around. Always willing to help a tournament and make it successful. And so I need to thank Megan, our staff, Elaine and Sean for registration and all that they did to track everything. Wendy on hot games and brackets. Bev and Danny who did the 50-50. Murdoch too, who helped push a lot of those sales. Thank you for bringing in that extra money. I think it was like just over $1,200 added. Thank you to our tournament sponsors. We can't raise that kind of money, $10,000 that's added to prize funds, but that's blows me away when we can get that kind of money. Maystar TV coverage, NDBowlTV and Darren Senni. And to our commentators, Darren, Jonathan, Mike Schmidt, and Felicia, thank you very much for
And thank you guys for joining me today. I do appreciate that.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
me and us.
It was a good time.
It was a lot of fun.
I
It
enjoyed
was a
that.
lot of fun. It's probably one of the best booths I've
Right?
been a part of.
Yeah. I know Jonathan's been waiting 2 years because he was so choked that he couldn't be in the booth last year. So,
Well, maybe next year we can do it again.
yeah. As long as, well, I'd like to be
yeah.
in the step ladder.
Right.
I'd actually like to be bowling Mike in the Stepladder final, giving him all kinds of stank.
There'd be like 500 people here
Yeah,
watching.
and then you guys turn around and I go like this, and I turn around and you guys will know right away what's going on. And Thomas Wolf, once again, $2,500 check.
I thought today was going to be the day.
So did I, but
Just wasn't quite meant
It's
to be.
Zach's day.
yeah.
Champion, first place prize of $3,500, and the trophy is Zack Wilkins.
Nice trophy there. $3,500 top prize.
So thank you, everybody. We're going to take some pictures. He's going to go in the booth.
All right, we'll get a quick word with Zach, and then we'll wrap things up here on NDBowlTV.
Baby.
All right, Zack Wilkins, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Very nice. Well, congratulations on a phenomenal tournament. You finally got it done because you've taken every spot in the step ladder except the win. You got it done today. How does
Yeah.
it feel?
Yeah, I kind of feel like a monkey off my back.
Losing your voice. You sound like me last
Yeah,
week.
no, I was sick all last week during trials, and then the cold doesn't help my throat, so I've been kind of sucking on halls for the last week, it seems like. But yeah, I don't really have a voice, but yeah, this win's pretty sweet. I've been coming to this tournament for probably a decade now, and I've never been able to get the win. I've lost to Schmitty before, and some of the good American bowlers, but to finally get a win here it's pretty cool.
Very nice. And we saw in that the second game, you made the ball change kind of midway through that match. What was the thought process there?
Yeah, I was actually, after that first match, I texted my mental coach. I was like, because he was watching, shout out Brian Kazee. So I was like, hey, do I switch to the one reverb? Because I did try it during Mitch's match just because that's my next progression.
Yep.
So I just wanted to see where that was going to fit. And I was having a little bit of fits with 18. 17 was starting to hook a little bit more down lane. And I wanted to start with it, and he was like, nah, the trackball looks good. I was like, all right, you're not wrong, because, like, I had the pocket under control.
Yep.
And, but then once I, saw the pesky 10 pin again on 18 where I missed in, and then one kind of got off of it on 17, I was like, no, this ball's just kind of, like, becoming too quick and then also bogging up in the middle part of the lane. So I needed something a little bit cleaner, and then that was able to shape a little bit better down lane.
Very nice. Well, it got the job done. Mike, Felicia, any questions for Zach?
I'll admit I was surprised that you made the ball change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the booth. If anything, I thought maybe you would throw one ball on one lane and switch to the one reverb on the right lane. Because, 18 was definitely a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
Unless you got it to the spot, then it was totally fine.
Correct.
But when you, even with the theorem, when you got it to the spot, it looked great.
Yeah.
So that's why I was a little surprised that, okay, you've got a good look. It's a tight match, but you made the ball change. So obviously it worked out great.
Yeah, I think
and the look was way better afterwards. And I had to eat crow a little bit because Felicia was like, "Oh, I think that's the right ball motion."
If anything, just bowling on tour the last couple of years, just don't be afraid. And
Yeah.
I mean, old Zach probably would have stayed in that track theorem,
Okay.
or the theorem pearl. Where now, like, I'm confident enough. I know my equipment. I know my progressions that, if I'm seeing, like, yeah, I have the pocket under control, but I know, like, okay, this ball's probably going to strike. I'm just changing.
Yep.
Okay.
Felicia?
That's good for me to know. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, I was saying, how's your back with these two different heights of shoes that you got on?
Man,
Your hips
it's,
feeling okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's all started game 3 of qualifying on Saturday. My boa broke, and I'm like, damn, I don't have another pair of shoes. Usually I have them in my, I do have a spare set in my truck, but I flew here, and then I was having a rough time with ball reaction, so it was kind of, I was like, oh God, like, am I gonna miss this cut? Like, it's only 6 games, but like, I don't have another shoe now. I'm glad it was the right shoe and not the left shoe. So like, and I think it's good that I'm also closer to the ground, so it doesn't feel as lopsided.
Yeah, he's right there with me. If any of you.
But no, Felicia was the only one to hand me a loss today. Believe
You're
it or not.
welcome. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Claim to fame there, Felicia.
She kick-started the day. She just had to,
Well, and this gave you the boost to just go ham on everybody else. So
yeah.
Well, I did say earlier on the show that both you and Thomas probably have the record for most appearances on NDBowlTV and NDBowling.com major finals without a win. So that monkey's off your back. It's nice to see you get that win, and I do want to say good luck on tour this year. It's good to see you break through last year and be top 10 in points, which is phenomenal. Hopefully we see you on Big Fox and.
Yeah, I'm winning multiple titles this year. That's
I think we all want to see that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
You're gonna see my name for Player of the Year.
Love it. Congratulations, and hopefully we see that.
Thanks, brother.
Love it.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations to Zack Wilkins, the winner here at the 2025 Manitoba Open. And very quickly, just want to say thank you to you, Mike, the 6-time winner here at the Open. It was great having you in the booth. Do appreciate your insight. And if you're not bowling next year, if we're back, we'd like to have you back in the booth. It was great.
It would be a pleasure, absolutely, and I appreciate the fact that you were able to, on short notice, come in here and be able to run the.
There you go, so people
closer?
can see you
there. You were able to run the telecast. I know many people in our region really appreciate it, and I've said before, you're like the pioneer of doing this in our region. So we appreciate everything that you've done for our sport in our region and continue to do so. And I'm just very happy that and honored to be a part of it this afternoon. So
very nice. I thank you. I appreciate that. And Felicia, thank you for joining us. It was a good time. We had a lot of comments in the chat about how fun the booth was today. So thank you for coming in and offering your insight as well.
well, and thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Very nice. All right, so I'm just going to wrap things up. But thank you guys for talking today. I appreciate it. All right, that'll do it for us. Zack Wilkins is your winner, and finally a champion here in Manitoba. As mentioned earlier, our next show will be live from Minot at the Morris Anderson Memorial Shootout 2 weeks from today, January 26th, right here on NDBowlTV. So tune in. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate that. And once again, you're watching final round coverage of the Manitoba Open here at Chateau Lanes in Winnipeg. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks at North Bowl in Minot.